Warning, this podcast is intended for mature audiences only. It contains adult language, themes, and humor. Everything said here is for comedic and satirical purposes only. It is not to be taken literally, and nothing in the show should be used as a basis for legal proceedings or real-world actions. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Welcome back, fellow trap hoes. Gat. Yo, don't ask me why I dress like this. Don't ask me why I dress like this. Today is Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, all my Wiggers. How you doing? A special Wigger episode of Slightly Offensive. It's been a while. I couldn't find any Juneteenth clothing at Walmart, Target, which is kind of a good thing, actually. Even my lawyer called me today and said, apparently it's like a federal holiday. And I go, it's for black people. And even then, a lot of blacks were slave owners. So it's not, I don't know what blacks it's for. So today we're dedicating Juneteenth. We've had a lot of these shows already. To all my Wiggers out there, all of my guys named Skylar that go by Skyboy and like T-Bone, you know, like I don't even understand what these. It sounds like the name you would give some sort of like the Crazy Bones. Like I got T-Bone and like Skyboy, you know, it's like a Crazy Bones thing. Do you remember who black people are? They're chipping out. They're chipping out.
Get the hell away.
Wow. I'm bored of black people because I've already come to the conclusion that they are very important to society, because if my blacks are beating your blacks in the World Cup, then baby, I'm winning in life, okay? White life has been reduced to the fact of which blacks are winning. Today I'm wearing the only shirt to define blacks in the Knicks championship, which are champions, you know what I'm saying? What's up? Where you at? I don't know. 90210. I guess that's like 90s right there. 90210, where you at?
Oh, he just cut out. Mike's just cut out, I think. Can't hear myself anymore.
Oh, no, we did not cut out.
Oh, we're back.
Yeah, we're here.
back. Well, that's a great intro into
we're here.
Shouting myself out. What's up, you guys? I think this is the new look. We're going to be rocking this on every single show from here on out. I'm feeling very Wiggarthan today, you know? Wiggarthan. If y'all seen that guy on Reels, bro. Real Wiggarthan. Did big guy.
Shit.
Did it tough. All right. That's how we're feeling today at Riff TV. Happy Juneteenth to everyone out there. It's the realest holiday ever. It's my favorite holiday. What is July the 4th? What is Independence Day? All I know is about Juneteenth, all right? And we eat Kool-Aid, pineapple, spears. We have some watermelon with our watermelon felons. Shout out Jeff Metcalf for growing some balls. That was good. Good on you, brother. That is what it sounds like in my room every night and every day. But we're going to have some fun today, you guys. It's my favorite holiday.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And they say, you know, live long enough to become the mud. And that's where it's at. You know, you got to live long enough to become the mud. Well, black people have hit an all-time L this year. Big L's for the blacks this year. After the Carmel and Anthony incident just happened, and we realized what we already knew. Blacks have not done a good job at integrating to society, and our leaders have decided, well, we never figured out the black issue. We just introduced abortion, and that kind of solved the population boom. But unfortunately, the Jews came in and were like, well, you know what we should do is we should Negroify the country so that black girls make TikTok accounts called King Von's Throat Goat. Great. Fantastic. And they do things like that. And this is why we need to arrest all women tomorrow and banish all blacks and possibly deport all minorities because we can't have this society anymore. But unfortunately, there is a individual or a group of people that I think we have to really be thankful for, which is our Wiggers. Shout out to them today. Everybody's being black this Juneteenth. I mean, the Mexicans have become black. Look at this.
I'm gonna go that way. We're gonna bless them.
So, man, gotta be with a
Yeah.
Hey. That's the wrong race. Sorry.
Shoot at your whip. I was gonna suck my dick, spinning up.
Hell yeah.
Type shit.
You know,
Type
those,
shit.
you know those kids felt so tough making that.
Dude, they're all
look
like
tough.
12 or 13, bro.
Wow. Yeah, they felt so tough. So tough. I was going to say they felt so hard, and I was like, pause. Let's not talk about it.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. They felt tough. Joining us in the studio today is the #1 gangster rapper. You've seen him in the 90210 area code, just gangbanging, slanging, and popping perks. His name is George, but with a dash G. George G today.
Lil G.
Lil G.
What's up, niggas?
Lil G.
What's up, niggas? It's George-E. Wait, what is it?
George G.
George-G?
Yeah, dash G.
Or Lil G.
Type shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, at Sith Lord Goiper on Twitter. If you want to clip for us or write for us, hit me up.
Yeah, you know, and today, and Georgie's worried that it's going to be a small show. We've never done this show for a large audience. We do it for us. And today, I wanted an excuse to wear this stuff today. So that's kind of what I did that. Today, we're going to be talking about an interesting thing. You know, blacks, it's really easy to dunk on them. It is very easy to just point out their problems. But we do have a problem in society, particularly the fact that black culture has essentially taken over the nation. And I saw this video someone put up, and I swear to God, I thought it was real for a second. And they were saying Charlie Kirk celebrating Juneteenth last year. Okay, and I start here by saying this. The reason why I'm not making fun of Charlie, actually, and I'm not making fun of his death. I start here by saying one thing that Charlie Kirk did really well this Juneteenth, a little reminiscing of a victim of white Jewish crime, is he was just unapologetically a white person. He wasn't a white nationalist, maybe a little bit behind the scenes, but like publicly. He was not a white supremacist. He was a Protestant Christian, and he was apparently converted to Catholicism, but I'll just say Protestant for right now. So he's kind of in that love thy neighbor, mentality. But he did something that I think white people all need to learn this Juneteenth, is that just like when white people cosplay black people act like black people because they're genetics. It's not because they have a do-rag on. Their genetics are why they have a do-rag on. And the reason why you look so stupid as a wigger with a do-rag on is because your genetics make you want to dress like Charlie Kirk. And Charlie Kirk was just a white symbol. People say he's a white nationalist, a white supremacist because he was successful, dressed well, carried himself. His wife thought he was handsome, I think. And well, I don't know about
brother.
her. Well,
Oh, brother.
we don't know what she thought. I don't think
Shut it down.
No, I don't. Well,
No, go ahead.
I don't know what she thought. But it was looks match though. She's not that hot. It was definitely a looks match. And ultimately what he did is he stood up for American principles in general. And I think we need to just come by saying this real fast, this Juneteenth is, can we please finally admit as we celebrate the emancipation of slaves that black people were not whipped because they were black.
Oh, God. Hey, keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
keep going.
Black
What was
people
that?
were whipped because
It's a fly in the studio.
they probably needed to be to get work done. And I would say if honestly, if you go
Just keep
through a
talking about the
drive-through,
fly.
if you go
Just keep
fly in
talking
here.
over him.
if you go through a drive-through in 2026, I'm going to say this: I would not become a shift manager at a Taco Bell if I wasn't allowed to carry a whip with me. And by the way, the whites too, the Wiggers and the blacks, everyone that's poor now acts like they're black. That's what I was going to say. It is a class issue, but poor people act black, okay? And it's just a really weird thing to me that that's the case. And what's weird is when black people get rich, they try to act white. Okay, and I'm not talking about rappers specifically.
Type shit.
Not rappers specifically, but blacks do try to act white. And so we're going to be talking about a little bit, we're not going to be dunking on blacks. We're actually going to be like having a real criticism of their culture and kind of what we can do. And if you're a black and you're watching this, you probably made it out of the plantation. But unfortunately, we don't just have cotton plantations today. We have things called credit scores and mortgages and things called charge cards, which are the Jewish plantation, which we're all now on. And I want to give a shout out to my niggas,
Shit.
to my brothers. We'll start here. Before we go to the first video, we'll start here. I want to extend an olive branch. I'm going to grab an olive branch and extend that out to you, okay? Extend it out and say, you have been here pretty much as long as we have been here. And I want to say, if you will pair up with us and you will use the terrorism that you have done to us for like 100 years, specifically last 75 years, if you will take those terroristic feelings that you have towards whites and you would put them towards immigrants, new immigrants, non-Afrikaner immigrants, but you know the other kind, the other one, and you put them towards Indians and Muslims, I will literally give you free Kool-Aid pineapples for a year. Okay, every black gets free Kool-Aid pineapples for the entire year. The American dream. All right, let's get into this. So it's on Juneteenth today, and I want to point out something. What is Juneteenth? Blacks are celebrating it. The courts are closed. Newsmax actually went out to find out. Do Americans know it's a federal holiday? Do people even know what Juneteenth is about? Let's see if blacks can answer that.
What is Juneteenth?
What is Juneteenth? You know what Juneteenth is.
I don't know. You got
No idea?
No idea.
Is that is a celebration of I don't want this to be wrong, so I don't want it to be on the news.
It's the celebration of, now don't ask me what state, where they took the state and they actually messed up the homes of all the blacks that lived there. They ruined it, then now it's celebrated as Juneteenth.
I think basically it's a time for like little kids come together or something like that.
I mean, it's a long story. I know really what happened, but it was a Wall Street for the blacks. I think so.
Well, he's not
for some reason, it's recognized as a holiday that there was a gap between when the people knew they were freed in, I believe, Texas, and they didn't learn until June 19th. So there was a period of time they're actually freed and didn't know it.
I think you might be right, but I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
All right.
But to me, it's a bizarre holiday.
I'm gonna go. What the heck? What did you? Dude, please turn that off. Yeah. Dude, do you even know what you're doing?
I like this.
Yeah, turn it off.
Let's keep that for the rest of the show.
Literally a sound effect. What was that?
I'm trying to. I was trying to switch that out with the alarm chirp.
Are you turning me into a black? I sound like Trayvon Martin's dad.
Yeah, I don't know
what was that? Well, I want to go to this for a second here and go to Nikki on this. Like, we're just like making shit up now to try to please blacks, and I might just a little bit of a Elijah. Well, that's a little bit of a thing, real quickly. Maybe we just took the freedom thing a little bit too far in the country. Maybe because like we're kind of like letting violent blacks go free on like no bail and stuff like that. Maybe we've made the blacks a little too free, and I'm not saying we should enslave them. I am saying maybe we went a little too far in their freedom, and maybe they can't handle it, right? Maybe like the reason why kids can't get drunk is not because you don't like your kids. It's because adults can't handle getting drunk, so let alone a child. If anyone have a toddler, it's like having a drunk adult running around your house. It's insane. It's like one of the craziest things in the world. It's funny that I would say the majority of blacks you ask would not know what Juneteenth was, and I don't think even whites know, and yet it's a federal holiday. We made this shit up. It's fake.
No, probably 80% of the population of this country has no idea what the Juneteenth holiday is. It's when blacks in Galveston, Texas found out that they were emancipated. That's what the Juneteenth holiday is supposed to be. It was a state holiday in Texas for a few decades now. They decided to make it a federal holiday under the Biden administration because we had to throw some table scraps to them to appease. But the real problem is that freedom of vice is not actual freedom. And that's what you see in America at large, and specifically the black community in comparison to the rest of the country. It's just freedom is now being free to do what is wrong, being free to do what is detrimental to yourself, to your race, to your culture, and to your society at large. That's what freedom now means. Freedom is you can stick things up your ass and no one will tell you that's bad for you. Freedom is you can smoke crack on the side of the highway and no one's going to arrest you. They're just going to let you run rampant, roam free. That's real American freedom. This is what the founding fathers dreamed of, okay? Homeless people taking a shit on the side of the road and police officers walking right by and doing nothing. That's what freedom is now. And since it is Juneteenth, we will highlight the freedom to rob, the freedom to do drive-by shootings in a neighborhood, a freedom to murder somebody and then rap about it in a song and you still don't get arrested, even though you're literally putting it online who you murdered and in what fashion. That's what freedom is. I'm very happy they are playing the sound that I hear in my room every day.
So what you trying to say?
I just thought it means it works, bro. I just thought that shit that means that shit works, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
What you mean is Western civilization went from Rome to too many blacks roaming free. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we've been doing, bro.
Man, I just believes in my peoples, bro. All right?
Just believes in it?
I just believes in my people. Believes, shout out J Beebs. I just believes in my people and shit, man. Like, we should be able to do what we want, shit. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? No, I'm right. I'm right. You know, but it's an actual problem, and that's why the Bible, people criticize. This is a great background to my Christian rant, real quick, but. This is why when people criticize the Bible for all its strict rules and the guidelines that you have to follow, the reason why it's so important is actual freedom is found when you are restricting yourself to good habits and actions that are going to positively benefit your life and lead you in the right direction, not towards your destruction, but towards your salvation. Thank you so much, Georgie. That's actual freedom. People always criticize the Bible and Christianity. It's so not uninclusive, and it forces you to live by these strict rules and guidelines that no one can uphold and no one can actually live by. The purpose is so that you will strive to be better than you actually are. You will strive to defy your human nature, because your human nature actually is shitting on the side of the street whenever you feel like it. Your human nature is eating Kool-Aid pineapple spears that are full of red 40 and yellow 5 that make you fat as shit. Your human nature is getting angry at your ops and doing a drive-by in the hood. That's your human nature. The purpose of the Church of Jesus Christ and the rules that the Bible set out for us is to restrict us to a lifestyle that will actually be conducive to a better society, a better life for future generations in this country. And that's one of the problems. You know, Jesse Lee Peterson, shout out. We're going to be hearing from him here in a sec. Jesse Lee Peterson talks about this. He's a black man criticizing the black community and culture at large. He says blacks back in the 50s and the 40s, they actually used to live Christian lives. They had Christian morality because they were regulating themselves and their family units by the gospel, by the Bible, by the 10 Commandments. Now you've gotten so far away from that in the black community that you see these behaviors that everyone's getting angry about. And look, we have the internet now. There's no hiding what's going on in the black community. You can call me a racist and cry a river about it if you want to. I just don't care. I'm going to say what's true, and it's true. Everyone, not just whites, but every race is seeing what's going on in the black community, and everyone says this is a fucking problem. It's a problem, and we can't put up with it anymore. You've got to go back to the Bible. That's the way to fix this.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to put you in Deep Ellum at night with a bunch of blacks, and then you're going to be just with the Bible. And I want to see you fix it with Jesus Christ. Okay. I want to see you do that. I want to see you do that. We've been trying that for a while, and I don't think that's even true in the slightest, and not to be sacrilegious. But I will say something. There is a page, right? We've all seen it called Funny Looking Nigga of the Day, and we have ours today, by the way. It came up. That's crazy.
Chad.
That's crazy. And look, and I'm gonna give the blacks a chance. Like, I do see like the most effed up, like dysgenic whites on reels, right? They like, you're like, I can't even believe they're real people. Dysgenics are everywhere. And it's kind of an interesting predicament there.
He's mogging you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you can take that off for a second. But interestingly enough, let's talk about, before we get into some of the funny things from JLP, when did Juneteenth become a holiday, right? Well, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden made it a holiday in 2021, right after January 6th. Watch.
Throughout history, Juneteenth has been known by many names: Jubilee Day, Freedom Day, Liberation Day, Emancipation Day, and today, a national holiday.
The laugh. To all my Harry Potter wiggers out there, dude, she is Dolores Umbridge, bro. Like, she is Dolores Umbridge. I'm sorry.
Her family and Sunny Hostin, the two biggest like purveyors against racism were actually slave owner families.
True.
And so most whites didn't own slaves. In fact, there was a black guy behind us eating at a place, and we were being really loud about Juneteenth, and he got up and left. So that was interesting.
I don't know if that was it. I think he was done with his chicken sandwich.
No, he had like
it actually
two
was
bites,
a chicken
actually.
sandwich.
He took 2 bites of his fried chicken sandwich, and he was done. So there is that. So
Shout out, bro.
Let's talk about this. So let's talk about not all blacks, but most. Not all blacks are bad or anything like close to that. We all know good blacks. And I think the idea is like, you meet a woman and she's like really cool, and you think like you find she's not like other girls, and you finally met a woman who's really like actually cool and not going to be crazy. And then I just tell a guy, dude, you just haven't known her long enough. Okay. That's all that's happened. And the same thing goes with black people is most of them are like, there's a lot of blacks, I'll say a few blacks who are very much, they're not like the what's his name? Carlson from like Fresh Prince. Is that his name?
Carlton?
Carlton. You do have blacks like that, especially in West LA. You have blacks like that in the South, like in Mississippi, and some that are like very upstanding citizens. And you completely understand that they happen to have black skin, but they have adopted, they have assimilated, and they don't want to be associated with being black.
Mr. Dissident said, "Not all cancer is fatal."
Yeah, that's crazy. It's so over.
Oh wow.
So true.
Wow.
Love you,
Okay.
Mr.
Oh, he
Dissident.
also sent a super chat.
Yo!
Happy anniversary to the execution of the Rosenberg traitors, Juneteenth, 1953. They were fellow white people. Why is everyone talking about black people?
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm okay. Well, here's the deal. So Jesse Lee Peterson has been one of the best, interesting people of criticizing the black community for just being straight up hoodlums. And his interviews are amazing. Listen to this.
Believe that does racism exist?
Depends what you mean.
Do you believe racism exists?
Depends what you mean.
Does racism exist?
Depends what you mean.
I'm sorry?
Depends what you mean.
It was just a question.
And I'm just stating a qualification for the question.
So you believe racism exists or not?
It depends.
On what?
What do you mean by racism?
It depends on what?
It depends on how you're using the word racism.
Well, I'm not. I'm just asking the question.
Are you telling me you don't know what you mean when you say the word racism?
Right now, it's just a question. And I'm asking you, do you believe that racism exists?
Right. It's a question that you're asking.
Yeah, does racism exist?
And in order to ask the question, you're using words. And those words are an expression of your thoughts. And since I don't know I can't read your mind, I'm asking you to tell me what the words you're choosing to use mean. Are you unwilling to do that or unable to do that?
So let me just ask, does racism exist?
What do you mean by racism?
So let me ask this. Amazing.
Okay, so this is kind of what brings up something here is you're going to find, this is actually a big criticism on the education system. Do you ever meet people who just like, they do a lot of that stuff? Like they'll be like, they've just memorized like the basic logical fallacies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll just be like, that's a logical fallacy. It's like this Vosh debate tactic. It's like, do you believe in racism? What does that mean? Well, it's kind of up to you to decide what you mean. You could say, well, I don't believe in racism and it means this, and I don't believe this is racism, but I believe this is what my definition of racism is. But what happens is that blacks don't feel like, even when they're educated, that they really owe you an explanation for anything. And the problem is they haven't really thought through their answers on things because, that's a big, deep question. So we'll answer that here right now. And I'll start with Nikki here. I'm going to ask you the question. I'll ask you, Georgie, too, and you can ask me back. But let's keep the answers pretty tight here. Do you believe racism exists?
Absolutely.
Why do you say that?
Because there are people who hate other people because of the way that they look, because of the color of their skin. But that's not the definition anymore. It's not the definition. Racism as it's used today is, do you want to fight for your people and your country, and are you white? That's what racism means. If that's your definition, then you can call me that. If your definition is hating people when you see them on the street just because of the color of their skin for literally no reason, then I'm not that. But we all know that's not how they define things anymore. That's not what they're operating off of.
Yeah, because what happened was when you saw something that didn't look like you, it should have meant two things. You're in a white city and you saw someone that didn't look like you. You shouldn't be racist because it meant it's probably a rare exception that's been allowed to integrate in society, or they're a tourist. Okay? It's basically what it should have meant. It's like, see a black person in a white city, it's probably a person that's a tourist that has money and they're behaving well because we wouldn't allow misbehaving black tourists, or they are one of the rare people that integrated and we respect them. And that doesn't mean we respect all of them, but we respect that individual. And so basically racism means like, yeah, are you an individualist? Can you see an individual outside of color? Yes, but I'm not going to take my bet if I'm walking on the street at night to wonder if the guy has a doctorate or if he's just a Carmelo Anthony type. I'm not going to place my bet in today's world. So Georgie, does racism exist?
Well, you saying a lot of words, right? And those words come from your head. And how am I supposed to get inside your head to answer the question? I can't.
Ask me again.
How do I get inside your head? Because otherwise, it's just a bunch of words. So it's not a real question.
You just saying shit.
You just saying
to say shit.
What is the question?
Ask me now. Ask me the question.
Is racism real, Elijah?
What do you mean by that? That's what Carmelo was doing. He's just trying to defend himself. What you saying? That's why we gotta be who we are, because Carmelo was trying to do that. I just want to do that. If anyone asks me a question, I'm going to relate it to Carmelo Anthony from going forward, actually.
I'm glad you just said that. I'm glad you just said that. Carmelo was defending himself. He was defending himself. I'm glad you just said that. Yeah, you know what? Maybe racism does exist.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would
disagree.
I don't think it exists, but I will say
I
this.
don't know.
To bring something up, I'm going to bring up 2 old videos that we had. I'm really proud of this show for once again, just adding to the cultural phenomenon. Remember this girl from last week?
I don't have an opinion. I don't have an opinion here.
Just like Carmelo was doing. I'm glad you just said that. That's what Carmelo was doing. Protecting his.
I don't have an.
Okay, so we have those kinds of blacks, but to put it in perspective, remember from last week, you also had at least one of them who was not like that, Philip.
I'm from Africa. I'm blacker than all of you. By far, actually. So you're African? Yeah. From the motherland. Born in Africa. What part? Hold on. All right, I'm going to tell y'all something real quick. Black people are not exclusively from America. They're from all over the world. All over the world. They're from Africa, Australia, Great Britain, not just from America. You know what? Oh, that's a death threat.
We don't need you here.
No, her.
We don't need you her.
We don't need you her. You know,
What you mean?
I do want to say, people wonder, from being from LA, people get really confused by my voice. Even people see me that's how he sounds. I'll see that comment every other week when I put up a video. It's that's how he sounds. Lord have mercy. But it's as I mentioned, your friend who was drunk out of his mind. It was why do you sound like you're from Hollywood? It's because that's where I moved from. So thank you. You do pick up an accent. I don't really know where I think the gays kind of got their accent from the LA Valley Girl accent a little bit. I think because West Hollywood is the thing. You can pick up an accent, and I found living in Australia for a long time, you pick up words and, all my friends have been Australian and you don't even notice you're saying it. And it becomes part of your lexicon. But nowhere along the line did I just start being oh, crikey, mate, oh, yeah, we're going to get going right now.
You got pretty close, though.
Yeah, no. It's oh, yeah, get some petrol in the car. It's no, it's you don't really pick up an accent. The blacks, because we're in the South here, I know people don't think Texas is the South, but the blacks here are historical blacks, and they do have that accent, the Louisiana, Alabama, you don't want you here. We don't want you here. It is interesting to me that yes, Philip is a exception, but you notice one thing, he's African. Mm-hmm. He's from Africa, he's from Ethiopia. And I'm not talking about Somalians and stuff, but there are a partition of wealthy Nigerians and Ethiopians that have moved here that have integrated fairly well. I've known a few of them in private school. And so I know inherently, that's what I mean about racism. Just because they're black does not mean they're incapable of integrating into white society. But I asked to the boomers who are use the exception to the rule to prove the rule. The exception proves the rule to me because the fact is that when you say oh, I do know a black person that is really well. I go, okay, do you know a black neighborhood? And then they'll go, oh, this suburb in Atlanta. You go, okay, that suburb in Atlanta. What percentage, Atlanta's a very black city. What percentage of the blacks in the city? Okay, so you've had a suburb. Great. You'd want to live there. Do you want to live there? Do you think they're going to the kids? You want those kids to be your friends? Your kids' friends? Do you want to grow up there? What about those kids that are in the rich neighborhoods? Do they listen to rap music? Or what about their cousins? They might be a rich family. What happens when they invite their family around? I lived in Boca Raton in Florida. I'm going to explain this. There's always these apartment buildings. They have them in Hollywood as well, where streamers, YouTubers, OnlyFans, porn girls, and whatnot end up moving into. And I'm kind of retarded because I moved my family from Australia into a streamer apartment because I got a streamer apartment. And I just wanted to meet people. And I did, a lot of people. And it was really great. And they were having, the house prices are dropping in Florida. And so they lowered the credit application score. And you could have, I think it was an eviction in less than 3 years instead of 5. And suddenly watermelon felons that had money started moving in. Bad records, but they had money. And there was break-ins. For the first time, there was break-ins. There was fights at the pool. While I was there, they had to hire security at the pool. They had to lock all the doors. They had to put out emails. You can't have more than 2 guests at a time. And it was directly related to the changing demographics. And everyone I talked to that was liberal streamers and stuff started moving out, not for any reason than what they kept telling me. It's not safe here anymore. And that's why I moved out too. It's not safe here anymore. It's not safe. And I kept going, what is that? What is that? That's the point.
It's such an expensive area to live too. It's how are they affording it? Is EBT really paying them that much to survive?
No, they're streamers. They're black streamers.
Oh, the streamers.
Yeah. They're all like online YouTubers and stuff started moving in, but they started bringing their cousins and throwing parties. And it got to a point to where you just couldn't live there anymore. And I bring up the record part is just because blacks can have money does not mean they have the record to want to live around. Okay. And like quite frankly, I'd rather live next to like a white felon than next to a non-convicted felon black person for the exact reason why blacks think that whites are like sex offenders at a higher rate. Whites are sex offenders at a higher rate, not just because the majority of people are white, but because whites are the most likely to report sexual offenses. Okay. Yeah. Blacks don't even report their crimes. It's considered snitching. You handle it yourself. That's why they're all in jail. Because you get wronged by Trayvon, you go handle that shit yourself. Shout out Zimmerman, you the hero. Pour some Skittles out for my nigga. No, dude. And by the way, I remember this. We've had this problem for a long time. You know how I got involved in right-wing politics? Like the initial, I was always kind of involved, politically. I was obviously did some work for Gavin Newsom. I was getting involved in politics. But it was at Cal State LA, CSULA. I'm sad I went there. It's one of the worst schools ever. We should do an LA tour, by the way, and go do some work out there. Shout out Will. We'll do an LA tour. But I want to move back so badly. The thing is CSULA is in the middle of East LA. It is a scary school. It's all blacks and Mexicans. I'm not going to go into a big story, but Ben Shapiro, when he was really small, went to speak there. One of his, I think this was in 2016, maybe it's like 2016. He was very small. And I don't even know if the Daily Wire had started yet. Maybe it had started in 2016. But maybe even 2015. Shit, that was a long time ago.
I think it was.
That was kind of Shapiro's peak.
No. It was
maybe
like 2017 to 2020. 2017 to 2020 was
White Shot's dead.
Okay, 2017 to 2020 is where it occurred, and I remember it was over the Trayvon Martin case. It was over Trayvon Martin, the Zimmerman, and he went to speak, and I went to go see him speak at CSULA, and people were throwing eggs at us. Blacks were beating everyone up. We couldn't even get in. They barred the gates. The police wouldn't do anything. And I suddenly, became very, I was already racially conscious, but I realized that I'm at a university, a very shitty university. It was an in-between semester. I had to go transfer into private school from a UC. And I just realized, we're at a college. I remember talking to some kid there at the corner, some black kid, going, what are you doing? We're at a university. I'm coming from UC Irvine, I'm it's like University of Chinese Immigrants. There's nothing happens there besides suicide. And you're like, what are we doing? Dude, you were in college. I remember trying to reason with these guys thinking it's not a good university, but we're collegiate. We're in college. Why are you chimping out, in college? It didn't make sense in my head. I knew there was blacks in public school and on the streets in LA, but I'm like, this shouldn't be happening here. And that was the moment when I realized it's going to happen everywhere where they are. Okay. Everywhere they are. And I also realized that that's when they were like, he's a white supremacist. And I'm like, nigga, he's a Jew. The guy's a literal Jew. Okay. He's the most Jewy Jew. He literally said on Bill Maher, he sleeps in a bed made of money. That's the most Jewish thing you could say on a podcast or on a show. And that's when I realized, I'm like, oh no. oh no, like it is not, I can't just make money and get out of the area. Like blacks are getting into school that don't qualify to be there. We don't have a ghetto class problem. We have a racial problem. And I feel bad for the good blacks. I feel bad for the, who's the brain surgeon that's was in Trump's first admin? Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson. I feel bad for people like Dr. Ben Carson because I would say this, before DEI and all this stuff, if it was hard to get into university as a black, if they were held to the same standards as whites, I think I would be less racist. Because if I was at a university and I knew every black that was there deserved to be there, and probably every black that's there is trying to shed their black identity and they're trying to integrate in society, I'd probably have more black friends. But now, even if you're in Harvard, you don't know if a black is just ghetto ass trash and they're just there to fill a quota. The problem is like again, the same thing goes, you know, if you had a black manager, you ever had a black manager, the worst. They're only there because they got allowed to be there. And I just think the question is can you have a democracy with minorities who don't deserve to be in their spot there and with women in leadership? That's going to be for Women's Day, but I don't believe we can. And I think the question is like, just because Philip exists, if you ask blacks are the first to tell you, because you got blacks and niggers, you know, you have the side. If you ask blacks that are not niggas what they think a good thing is Myron, you know, Myron's like, you know, doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, owns a bunch of property, and he calls out black hoodlum behavior. If you ask blacks are the first to admit to you what white boomers won't, is that we have a nigga problem in this country. Like, and it's bad. And it's real bad. And it affects our global reputation. It affects our school system. It affects everything. And I would say this, that's why we should not have forcibly educated blacks. I think it's right as a Christian community to allow a black that has been here from slavery to get an education if they can earn that education. But I don't believe that diversity, equity, and inclusion does anything more, but it kills the white heart. The spirit of our country's dead because we forced blacks into integration.
Yeah, the No Child Left Behind policy, I think that was like Michelle Obama or something implemented that. Ruined white education. You see now, like, I don't know if we saw the video. I think it came across all our feeds. Everyone's Twitter feed is the same now. It's the girl and it's the buy two, get one free video. And she's like, yeah, I got two, so I get the second one free. She just didn't understand. Like it was like, you know, she's acting like a nigga. It's like, the school system has failed whites because we are being educated at the pace of the blacks, and you know their pace is extremely slow.
So we have to have AP and IB and things to like just dumb down. I mean, you mentioned that like an average AP class is the equivalent of a normal college prep in a private school. It's like you have to send your kids to private school if your kids. You don't want your kid to be behind, but you don't want your kid to be just eaten up by homework and around like autistic people. You got to send them to private school. And private school is the way to get away from blacks. That's like that's what it's about. Getting away from Mexicans and blacks. That's how you do it.
Yeah. A lot of my friends who I grew up with that are black would like be upset because everyone's programmed to just get mad if like you're making fun of a different race, especially as a white person. But what I'll say is that you grew up in a white community at a mostly white school, and you know the way that you act is not the way that's acted on in the black community at large. You just know that that's true. You can get upset with me if you want to, but it's just an objective fact. And I feel bad, honestly, because when I look at most white people, they don't behave like this. We have white trash. We call them out, and no one like glorifies and upholds white trash. When people are acting like hoodlums and shit, no white person is like, yeah, man, we fuck with this. No, we always call that out. We're like, yeah, that's like disgusting behavior. That's why the phrase white trash exists. For you guys, it's like something that's constantly celebrated. And if a white person or anybody of any race calls it out and says it for what it is, ghetto-ish behavior, then you get upset and you just want to scream, you know, epithets at us, you know, that we're racist and stuff. I feel bad for you guys. And you made a good point about the DEI integration into our schools and into higher education, into the job market. It makes all white people and Asians as well. It makes us just look at you and think you're not qualified. So in the past, when all the standards were the same, everyone would be thinking that like you had to qualify just like I did. You had to work just as hard. You had to study the same amount of hours. You had to put in the day-to-day grind in order to have this position sitting right next to me. Now it's just an objective fact. I have no idea if you did that or not, because there's a very high likelihood that the color of your skin and your racial DNA got you into the position you're at for less of the work than it took me to do so. It's just an objective fact. Everyone knows this, There's literal racial quotas that schools implement. They have to have X amount of diversity in their school, even if it's not the same proportionately to the overall population of America or the population of the state or city the school is in. And this is detrimental to you guys' reputation in this country and around the world as well. Like when black people are going to other countries, like, you know, you think these Asians are not thinking the same shit that white people are thinking? Yeah, they absolutely are.
Well, look what Jesse Lee said here on this. Jesse Lee understands that there's a difference. Listen.
You speak very well and you're black. How did that happen?
What does that mean?
You speak well. You speak like a white person. How did that happen?
How do I speak like a white person?
All proper and right, and you can understand you. You use the right words, and how did that happen?
I'm confused by your question. How do I?
You speak like a white man.
I do?
Yeah, and that's good, not bad.
That's not my
But I'm just wondering, how did that happen?
Or do I speak like a black man?
No.
Oh, I don't speak like a black man? Black men are well read. We go to college. We take care of our kids. We pay our taxes. We do our responsibility. So I don't know how that is white. I know that's what black men do. That's what I know.
What's wrong with the blacks?
I'm confused by your question.
What's wrong with the blacks?
You're going to have to be way more specific.
Look, and this is what I was going to say is the blacks who make it out of blackness but don't try to fix their culture are the real problem. This is why I don't give them a pass, because when you ask blacks, not all, but a lot of the blacks that actually make it out, they talk like a white person, they make it into white society, they refuse to hold their culture accountable, right? And this is why we don't get offended by being called, you know, honkies and crackers and like, dude, I laugh at the white trash, like dysgenics on Reels. Have you ever seen Reels on Instagram? They're just like so many of them, like, hello, welcome to my page. And I encourage them, like they're schizophrenic. I'm like, they're in the trees, they're following me. Charlie Kirk has stolen my purse. He has stolen my purse. Please call Trump right now and let him know Charlie Kirk stole my purse. And I'll comment like, he's in the tree. Turn around right now, you know?
On the Riff TV page too. Yeah. It's not even Elijah Schaefer. It's Riff TV.
Charlie Kirk is in the tree. It's like, look, dude, look, you can say it's mean, but it's like, we don't claim our dysgenics. In fact, we actually, like, when I advocate for things like asylums, I'm primarily advocating for like mentally ill, drug addicted people that are white, primarily, that you see around LA. Because a lot of the black homeless are just like, you know, trap artists, but the whites that are out there that are, you know, messed up, you see a lot of whites that are mentally ill that are out on the street. We have a lot of white people here, and we want to treat them in a way that we don't claim them, but we take care of them. And I don't want to just make fun of them. It's like, hey, we should be like putting these people in asylums. It's like, so people say, well, why do you just want to put, you know, deport black people or militarize their cities or deport the immigrants? Like, no, anybody who's really not behaving well should be dealt with. And we do have a drug and dysgenic issue in our country. And I just want to say this. I'm not offended because I'm aware that there's a portion of whites who are like that. It's just not the majority of white people in general. And when I see a white person like at Walmart, they're like fat and have a fat lesbian daughter and like a mixed race son, and she's like has purple hair and, you know, like 2 teeth. I'm revolted for my own race, and I will call it out like, oh, it's so gross, or like that. I'm just like, this disgusting. Blacks have this thing where they're so tribal, they cannot call out the bad behavior. And this guy could just admit like, well, yeah, because I'm educated and I adopted white civilization, and I want to tell blacks you can too. You don't have to go to jail all the time. You can have a good job and have a family, and it can happen. But they refuse to call their culture out. And so we have to deal with this shit because nobody will call the bad behavior out. And if you do, you're called a racist.
Yeah, in the beginning of that, you see this guy, in the beginning, he has a winning mindset, right? It's like, no, I'm a man, I'm a black man, I'm well-read, I'm educated, I speak well, I carry myself with dignity and with pride. But then you get to the end of that, and Jesse Lee's like, okay, well, basically his question is, why aren't all the other black people acting like that? And he refuses to admit what we know is objectively true. And there are plenty of black people who also see that. They know, yeah, this is objectively true. The majority of blacks don't act like this in this country. If you want to facilitate the change, if you want people to become the person you want to be, the standard that we should hold everyone to, then you have to call out your own. just like I said earlier and what Elijah just referenced to, when we see white people acting like that, I don't know a single white person that walks by like a totally fat, dyshygienic white person and is just like, yeah, man, fuck yeah, bro, we support that. No, dude, we look at that. It's shameful. It's a bad representation of who we are as a race, as a society, as a culture, as a nation. And we say that should be shamed. That should be denigrated in our society, in our media, when we're speaking, just in personal conversations. We should say, hey, man, you need to change this. You need to be better. You need to push yourself. You need to strive to be great and uphold the standards that America was founded on. But black people, because of the programming, they don't want to call out their own.
What standards? Was it who was this country made for again? Elijah, real quickly. Could you just look up real fast? Just look up just real fast. Who was this country made for?
Judeo-Christian values, bro. Bro, Judeo-Christian values, man.
Bro, I'm getting both gats. Like I one's going in my head and one's going in yours. By the way, these are prop guns, have no bullets in them, just to clarify.
I, for one, am very impressed with black intellectual capability. And, Jesse Lee Peterson, if we want to play this video, it's a great showcase. He gets outsmarted again by the blacks he brings on. It's embarrassing for Jesse Lee. Check this out.
Would most black people be going to jail if they did not break the law?
Well, I think that black people would still find themselves in prison or in jails because laws will be created to criminalize black activity. Just take the situation with Eric Gardner, who was selling CDs, for God's sakes, and then he gets killed for that.
Well, Eric didn't go to jail for selling CDs. He went to jail for resisted arrest. He also went to jail for selling illegal cigarettes. And so would most black people be going to jail if they didn't break the law?
Again, the over-policing of black areas, it's not like black people are breaking the law more than anybody else. It's the fact that we have a very large police presence in black areas and always have. That's just a historical fact.
Well, the historical fact is that most black people are breaking the law more than any other race in America today.
Look, this is where it comes down to. Look, we're not black pilled anymore. We're doing this episode because I'm actually enjoying life. I'll talk about it more at the end, a little more at the end of the show. But I've taken a new mindset here, and I think black people can learn about this. Okay, this is not religious type shit, but this is the truth. Bad things can happen to you that are out of your control. And I will admit, growing up in a black community, there's probably a lot of pitfalls, and it's very hard to not fall prey to being in crime, to being molested, to being involved in a gang. I get it. Survival of the fittest, it's a nightmare to be raised in the projects. I'd rather be a poor person raised in El Salvador, post no gangs, than to be in an area that has gangs. Okay, that's just the truth in America. I just wouldn't want that. The chances of you getting out alive are very slim. Number two, I also admit in the black community that, yes, boomers are like completely correct that the fatherlessness and the government's role in destroying the black family, the whole family, by the way, in this country, but destroying the black family. I mean, no-fault divorce is kind of like the whites version, or just divorce in general. Giving women's rights was a big mistake. But in the black community specifically, we're not talking about divorce. It's just dads don't want to see their kids, okay? And that's just, if you had those mongrel kids without that black woman, would you want to see them? Probably not. But I understand that plays a role. However, I once saw a meme that said, I agree with you that the CIA was wrong for putting crack in your neighborhood, but did you ever realize you didn't have to smoke it? What I was going to say, my conclusion on this is that we don't have enough police in black communities, and we don't have enough proactive policing because the solutions for our problems, people cannot stomach them. If you look at Renee Good and you look at what happened with the ICE thing, we went real quickly from mass deportations to getting really violent, dangerous criminals. Once one person who intervened got killed. Okay, I think, what's the other guy's name? Daniels or something like that? The guy?
I remember who you're talking about. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Don't remember his name. Don't remember the guy who lit himself on fire in front of in DC either. I don't remember these people. But it's like,
I forgot someone did that.
Yeah, these are white martyrs.
Lit himself on fire. We can't even remember his name.
Right, but
fucking hero.
God, dude.
It's like a real life Charizard Pokemon card.
Died for the cause, and 1 million Palestinians continue to die. So
yeah, and the Lebanese war is
sorry,
still going.
brother.
There's a lot of the problems that are in the black community really come down to the white savior complex. And I mean that definitively. I mean that definitively. But I do think that white people in general are getting very comfortable with being called racist again. Specifically anybody under 35. And I think that blacks are going to see a level of racism develop in this country and tribalism among whites over the next 50 years that is going to make the 1800s look like a cakewalk. Because all they have right now, blacks do, is their threat to kill you and the fact that you can't say nigger. Okay, that's all they got right now. Because DEI is crumbling. Companies are switching to AI. They don't really need DEI anymore. They need a few skilled people and they need AI systems. Okay, and with the black communities here, cities are getting sick of it. If you look at all the cities that had the BLM stuff, they're cracking down on crime, dude. It's getting out of control. Okay, it's getting out of hand, and we're seeing things like LA City Council is allowing illegals to vote in this election because they can't even get, like, the crime is so bad that they need the illegals to vote in order to keep people like Spencer Pratt out of office. It's getting to a dystopian level. And while I don't know if we're going to resurrect LA anytime soon, I do mean this genuinely. People are afraid. They're afraid, and things are dangerous. And if you look at what the cities had to do to crack down on crime ahead of the World Cup, it's pretty interesting. Crime is at a level that we'll never understand because it's misrepresented and misreported. But like this guy said, it's like, well, we've been policed. It's like, because you guys just break the law. Like, I see black people just breaking the law. Like, they just walk. There's always a black guy in the street somewhere. What is that about?
You are under-policed.
Yeah, under-policed.
And you were very much correct in that, especially amongst the youth, we are no longer afraid and we're tired of being called racist. It means nothing to us anymore. I would give more credence to the plight of black people if I didn't see young men like Austin Metcalf get stabbed in the heart, and then the reaction to that is hundreds of blacks showing up to protest outside of his courthouse, outside of his court hearing. He gets sentenced to 35 years, is eligible for parole in 17 and a half. And they scream outside that it was racist, that a young black man who stabbed a young white man in the heart and killed him is being sent to prison. Let me say it again. It's racist that a young black man stabbed a young white man in the heart and got sentenced to prison for it. And then on top of that, I'm sitting here as a young white man who's from Plano, Frisco, Dallas, Texas, seeing another young white man get murdered in Plano, Frisco, Dallas, Texas, and thousands upon thousands of videos coming out on black Twitter, black Instagram, black TikTok, calling for the murder of white people in response to a black man stabbing a white man in the heart, murdering him, and getting sentenced to prison for it. They are now saying that white people should be murdered in the street by black people because a black man who murdered a white man was sentenced to prison. Why would I care at all anymore if you call me a racist? You are out en masse online and in the streets protesting on behalf of a black murderer, saying that we should be killed, we should be beaten, you can't go out. They were making videos, black people living in Dallas were making videos saying, white people can't go outside this week. You can't go outside, we're going to beat you down. We are going to beat you down and murder you if you go outside. Because Carmelo Anthony was sent to prison. Why would I care anymore? I'm not afraid at this point of being called a racist. My people get murdered, and then your people protest online and in the streets saying that more of my people should be murdered because your brother was sent to prison for murdering somebody, for murdering a white man. Yeah, I don't care anymore. Oh, I'm a racist? Basically, you calling me a racist says that you are saying I'm willing to stand up for my people and my country. That's what that word means. If that's what the word means, I'll proudly wear it like a badge of honor. We're tired. I'm not scared anymore. Call me the name. Call me a bad word. Call me a racist. I'm going to fight for my country. I'm going to fight for my people. I'm not going to apologize for that. Someone has to do it. Someone has to be willing to take the attacks. And if that's me, then so fucking be it.
And you know what? And I know that because I'm not racist. I'm not racist. I went to Walmart today and I filmed a video there.
I like the way you kiss me. I can tell you miss me. I can tell it this. I'm trying to be romantic. I hit it from the back. You don't get attached.
Yeah, for real. real too, by the way. Not
kind
even
of
AI.
rocking with that.
We have a funny comment from
Artemis.
From Bigfoot's Dick. He says they put Juneteenth by Father's Day so blacks can have something this weekend too. So true. So true.
It's true. We'll talk about the end. I'm celebrating Father's Day this weekend with my kids. And I think that's kind of a little bit of the difference. I'm not going to talk about anything, don't worry, Georgie. But like, I have fought in my life to make sure that I am in my kids' lives, and I'm going to continue to fight, against injustice. And I think, I've seen a lot of videos recently about people who have wrongly had their kids removed or whatever. And there is a lot of black dads I've seen on these like divorce cases and different things on these videos and like these classes and whatever that do fight for their kids. Okay. So it's not all blacks. And then I also, to kind of like retroactively compare this to whites, I've seen a lot of videos of like blacks being like, here's how much money I spent to make sure I was in my kids' lives after my baby mama lied about me and, took my kids or whatever, saying that he's a deadbeat. So I know a lot of dads get called deadbeat when the moms just use kids to hurt the dad. So that has shown me that there are blacks who are there. Also, did you see that white dad that just got arrested for CP and for abusing a child? No. And he got the white dad, and he had like, it's crazy, he had like 50 foster kids. But he got arrested in a shirt that said like, I'm the kind of dad that comes home after I get the milk. And it's like, he's like wearing a shirt how he's like a good dad. Dads that like perform about being really good dads, it's very performance based, it's very feminine. I mean, you should kind of be alerted if a dad wears a shirt like that. There are very bad white dads as well. And there are deadbeat white dads. And it's not like just one race, right? Or one group of people. But I do bring up the fact that, we have to look at the trends here, and we have to work on these things because, as Father's Day comes around, thank your dad for coming home after he got the milk, because, also too, I want to say this. I just want to say, and I saw this thing too, is like, if you've grown up and you grew up in a divorced house, and you're the mom, like, I don't know, she alienated you. It's called narcissistic baby mama syndrome, but. If she alienated the kids, or she like lied to you and you grew up and you realized, I saw a video from a guy who realized like he hated his dad, and then he ended up going through a divorce, and then he ended up realizing what his wife basically did the same thing, and then he ended up apologizing to his dad. They became close later in life because he realized his dad actually wasn't like a drug addict abuser, and the mom lied. It's crazy. Women lying, that's crazy. And he learned later from his own experience that his dad wasn't lying. Make sure that you thank your dad this weekend, and genuinely, do something with your dad this Sunday or this Saturday. If you don't have time, make sure to reach out. Even if you're not that close, you're a girl or you're a guy. I'm just saying this. We can talk about fatherless homes, but if you're not being good to your own father, what's really the point? And so make sure that part of white culture is we do respect our parents. And, it's not really about just black fathers being in the home. A lot of black fathers leave. And I know this is true. The mothers raise the kids. All the women and the kids are raised the women are disrespectful of the men. Black women do not respect black men. And so men are like, dude, you don't respect me. You raise your kids not to respect me. I'm not raising. If you're not going to treat me like their father and treat me like I'm in charge, black men care a lot about respect. And so they just go, fine, I'm out. I actually sympathize with some of the black men. That's not how you do it. But then our government came in instead of fixing it and went, well, why don't we just, encourage black women to have kids outside of wedlock? However, there's a video that came out from my old co-host. We launched his career right here on Slightly Offensive.
Of the show.
I thought you'd like this.
Yeah, right here on Slightly Offensive. John Doyle from Blaze TV, the network where talent goes to die. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's act. That's what they said. So they used to say when I was there. But Blaze TV, good people. Have nothing to say. Got NDAs. Fantastic people. Get a subscription today, because you can also hear about how Israel is our greatest ally, even when Trump is saying they're our smallest partner. Great network. Just kidding. I actually like the people there.
It's a good video, though.
No, I like the people there. And I want to say this about this video for people that hate this, because I said this on the last show about like guests we're going to have and people. Like, if you're like a retard faggot and you don't like John for whatever valid reason you don't, or invalid reason you don't, if you can't like see a good video from someone you don't like, or you judge, or you think they're wrong on other issues, and you can't just be like, yeah, that's a good point or a good video, you're in a cult. You're not really a thinker. You're not really thinking. Mm-hmm. And if you're fine with that, then that's okay. I have nothing against John Doyle personally. I don't have any problems with him. And I think he's a smart guy. I don't really agree with his sort of like pro-Trumpian, dogma. But I also want to say, I don't blame him for just getting a bag and just like doing a show for Blaze and just like collecting six figures. Like, do you really blame the guy? Like the economy right now, like, bro, it's like you work at there's a guy you work at, like, you stock boxes at Walmart. There's no crime in that. And you stock boxes for like $1 billion corporation that hates you, and you're like mad at John for grabbing a bag from Con Inc. I don't blame him. Grab that bag, John, my Irish friend. Get that bag. But he made a good point about Rosa Parks, and you know, I think it's an interesting point here. Listen to this.
Day one of exposing Black history because it like literally didn't even happen. So we all know the story, right? 1955, Montgomery, Alabama. Rosa Parks, she's this tired seamstress. She refuses to give up her seat to this white guy after a long day's work because her feet hurt. She gets arrested for this, and then it sparks a bus boycott. She becomes the mother of the civil rights movement. She's now remembered as a brave hero who stood up to power. The entire thing was a planned publicity stunt from the beginning. By 1955, Rosa Parks was already like an experienced left-wing activist. She and her husband were attending Communist Party meetings. Also, her husband owned a car. So this is not even the first time this happened. Black people were getting arrested for this stuff, but the NAACP and the activists ignored them, and Rosa Parks was specifically selected as the perfect subject for this agenda. She was polite, she was employed, she was married, she was seen as somebody who would be sympathetic to white people. And actually, the Rosa Parks incident itself was actually a reproduction of a prior incident where they planned to make a different woman into this kind of figurehead, but then they found out that she got pregnant out of wedlock, and so they had to sub her out for old Rosa. What's funny too is that she actually had to ride around on a few different buses before this happened, since the rules weren't really meant for women. They weren't really enforced on female passengers. Also, she wasn't even exhausted. She admitted in her autobiography that she refused the seat not because she was physically tired, but because she was tired of giving in to injustice. But that wasn't her first run-in with that bus driver either. James F. Blake, in 1943, Blake kicked her off the bus entirely, yet that incident got zero attention from the activists because she hadn't been chosen yet by the activists to play this role. Here's the kicker though, Montgomery lost segregated buses, but it didn't actually require black people to give up seats to white people if no other seats were available. Rosa Parks was sitting in the middle section, and she wasn't asked to move until more passengers started boarding. Basically, you had a white section, a middle section, and a black section, and the driver was trying to move the sign to expand the white section of the bus into some of the middle seats, since there were a bunch of white people about to get on the bus. And so he asked Rosa Parks and a few black guys if they would move from the middle section into the black section, since it would literally be illegal for him to tell the white passengers to go sit in the black section. So the guys were like, all right, yeah, whatever. But she went along with her plan, and so she was arrested because she wasn't listening to the bus driver. But she did not stop there at buses. She supported Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam, you know, the whole kill white police officers guys. She marched in Farrakhan's Million Man March in 1995. She backed the Black Power movement, defended black rioters in the Detroit riots in 1967. She endorsed domestic terrorist groups like the Black Panthers, also the kill white police officers guys, the Black Liberation Army, Weather Underground, the bomb and kill white people guys. Nobody knows about the history of left-wing terrorism, dude. This stuff was all going on. Despite all of that, though, she still spoke at the 1988 Democratic National Convention, hailed as a hero. Rosa Parks was a calculating revolutionary whose actions were part of this broader left-wing conspiracy, but the myth that we're all taught is designed to hide this and the radicalism that created it, so that we're taught,
You know, I'll go to you in a second, Nikki, here, but I'm going to make one quote about this. I still have my bets on John a little bit. Like, cause I met him when he was really young and like exposed him to the whole arena, and he kind of got sucked into it. And I think he kind of saw what happened to me, and he's like, kind of like, okay, well, I don't want to, he's not a perfect person. And I'm just saying, like, you know, you see the blackmail and what goes on. It's like, you don't want that, you know, you don't want to be people to come after you, but he's really high IQ and like he's saying that from memory. He's just saying that, and someone at Blaze put the stuff over that. He's a really smart guy. And I kind of have like my bets on smart white people. Like, I just kind of think like Alex Jones pretending he didn't know about the Jews for a while because of the Sandy Hook stuff. I think that John's going to come around personally speaking. And I know that he's like got a big beef with the Groypers and with Nick and stuff. And so it's not like a glaze, because I've just known him since he was like 20 or something, 21 maybe, playing cider keg here in Texas. But I also know that, he's in school right now. He's going back to school and everything. Let's keep our eyes on him, because I think he's going to come around eventually. But in his take on Rosa Parks, what you're realizing is that everything is a giant stunt, and nothing is the way that you think it is. And maybe if we had blacks actually enforced to sit in the back and whites, Irina Zarutska would be alive. I'll just say that. And what do you care about blacks having priority, or white people being safe, which is why he said, like, yeah, like, you know, even as a white person, if we had like segregation and some like old white lady with like a cane came around and was like, can I please sit here? You're not going to be like, oh no. You're like, yeah, go ahead and take my seat. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not racist. But like that scary black guy, he gets to stay back there because he might stab me in the neck. But you can be here. I want to stand here where I can see my six, you know? When you're around blacks, ever relax. But nobody sees an old black woman. However, at the Carmelo Anthony thing, there was some old black women who were a little bit unhinged. So it's in the demeanor,
water bottles and shit.
Throwing water bottles. You missed that whole thing, but it was fake. Moving along here before we get to the Wigger stuff. Shout out to this black pastor who also made a good point here. And that's why I said we're with Jesse Lee and stuff. We're not degrading blacks. We're giving a showcase to blacks who understand the problem. We got Philip, we got JLP. Now we have this pastor. I did this for my dad, actually. I did this for my dad, this theming, because he's just... My dad is a great guy, and he's one of those boomers that, like, you just... Like, I love him, but, like, you're like, Dad, your whole neighborhood is, like... It's like a Disney Channel movie, you know? It's like brand new houses, you got the gay couple, and you got the black guy, and the Muslim guy, and the Indian guy, and the Mexican guy. And I remember my dad told me something, which was very sweet of him, because he's a very, very, very nice guy, you know? I think boomers, we give them a lot of shit, but I think a lot of times they kind of like a liberal who fails upwards, who doesn't realize that they're failing, doesn't realize it's being handed to them. Boomers don't really know what they fumbled. It's like an ignorance that is like in general, like they don't realize what they fumbled, and so it's not always intentional, like, you know, to screw us over, but they did fumble a lot. And I remember he's like, no, it's great. Like God brought the mission field to me. And he says, like, my Muslim neighbor, he didn't know how to get mail. I taught him how to get mail. I'm like, I am teaching my 3-year-old son how to get the mail. And he even asked me on the phone, he's like, can we get the mail? Because when he comes over, we're going to go get the mail. It's down the street. It's like, Dad, that's what we teach toddlers, how to get the mail. You know, it's not really, I think you should be teaching a 44-year-old guy named Abdul, you know, who just got out of a rape gang and, you know, came here to get away from being prosecuted in the UK. That's not really what we should be doing. And I think that we realize, and why, if you're young and you're under 40, I'd say, and you're starting to be filled with hate. I'll let Nikki do the Bible stuff. That's completely fine. But before we watch this clip, I bring up this mentality of, like I mentioned earlier, you also have to realize that you need to make sure you don't get into a victim mindset. Which I mentioned earlier, what blacks do is they become victims of this idea, like, oh, well, this or that, you know, there's slavery in this. Remember this. Only you have the power over your life to choose how you respond to situations. And just like we don't like blacks who go around, you know, talking about slavery and all this stuff, we also really don't, you also need to realize in your life that in this situation where you have people around you and you're in this environment, like I am, people say, why don't you just move if you don't like all these minorities? Well, I can't move because I'm in a custody battle. So like people have businesses, people have, divorces, people have sick family members, people have medical issues that they have a hospital they have to go to. Not everyone has the freedom of association to move around. If you are stuck in a situation where you're experiencing blackness, minority crime, bad things seem to be around you, you can at one point be filled with hate to a point to where you're not okay with what's going on, but don't let it ruin your whole day. If you get served the wrong coffee at a coffee shop, don't take it out on the waitress.
It might not be a perfect frappe.
It might not be a perfect frappe.
If they don't know how to make a fucking frappe, dude, like, fuck them, honestly. It's the simplest coffee drink to make in the world.
Wait,
fuck
he was
them.
talking about you?
No, I was talking about...
You would never chimp out over a coffee,
no,
George?
Never. I would never.
You would never do that.
No. But I was going to say... Just remember, you have the power over yourself.
Greek monkey.
And what I've learned is, and I want to say this to all minorities and white people, if you have a problem with something, you also might be the problem, because the reason why Wiggers exist, which we're going to get to after this clip, and the reason why people become these people that you become a white person who ends up hurting us more than helping, is because you're letting your hatred and your anger lead you, which is a male version of letting your emotions lead you as a woman. If you let your emotions lead you, the Bible talks about not being like controlled by your hatred, not being controlled by these things. Hatred is a good motivator, but not a good control mechanism. You know, and violence is good when it's directed and calculated. But it's not good when it's just out of anger and hate. And you can end up acting like a black that you hate by just becoming a wignat. Because you're just impulse, like, well, I just fucking hate these niggers and this and that and blah, blah. I'm going to be a Nazi and I'm going to just, hold up swastikas and yell. It's like, well, that's not really going to help us at the moment. So hate Anglo-Saxon, do hate. Let the hate build in you, but also be controlled, be controlled in your own mind and don't let it ruin your day. Because if you're,
if you get the wrong drink, send that shit back.
Yeah, but if being around blacks scares you, don't also let the fact that blacks exist make you hate your life. Be a good white person or any good person, and let it fuel you to become a better human being. Because you could end up acting just like the blacks. And I've seen a lot of white people go down that road. Their hatred for minorities and stuff, they end up becoming black coded. End up becoming black coded because you're just impulsive and hateful, and you're not thinking, you're not calculating, you're not acting like a white person. You're justified. I get it, but the blacks feel justified too when they punch you for saying the N-word. So be a white person. Listen to what this black pastor said.
Can't manage niggers. You can't trust me. I've been working with them for 45 years. A nigga just ain't gonna do the right thing. He got an attitude about everything. Pastor Manny, he ain't for the black man. He's against the black man. Then you got rap music. Damn. And it gets worse. Our youth today, you go to Daytona Beach, I don't know if y'all seen some of the videos. They even go to Ruth Chris restaurant now. They're like a bunch of monkeys. I swear before God. Black Gen Zers, somewhere between 15 and 30, they're like monkeys. They're like marauding monkeys, turn loose on shopping malls, restaurants, running amok, knocking over things, fighting and shooting and killing, half naked. They're like monkeys. Send their asses back to the jungle.
Nikki?
That was actually just in the church. That was not a sound effect that Georgie just added. But, you look back, John Doyle video, talking about the history of Rosa Parks and the Black liberation movement at large, and you realize that we were lied to about a lot of different things our entire lives. And I made a video in February on MLK Day speaking about, I didn't even talk in the video, but it hit 1 million views. I was really just kind of messing around. But we were lied to and propagandized intentionally to take away any sort of pride or racial consciousness that white people used to have. Martin Luther King was a piece of shit. He was a total scumbag. He beat his wife. He cheated. He was serial cheater. And one time he sat in a room and him and his friend watched another guy rape a woman, and they sat there and were laughing. And the reason we know this is because the CIA or the FBI was wiretapping all of his rooms, and they were following him around because he was affiliated with all of these black extremist groups that were calling for violence against white people, all of these different types of separationist movements. And so they wiretapped his rooms and they found out what he was doing. And he was beating his wife, he was a serial cheater, all of these terrible things. And none of that was told to us as children. In fact, it was the opposite. We were told that this was a strong Christian man. People also don't know Martin Luther King denied the divinity of Christ. He denied the virgin birth. He denied the Trinity. He didn't believe the core values and beliefs of Christianity. So this man wasn't even a Christian. So we were told as children this was like the most virtuous man in American history, and he was a Christian pastor, and he really believed in and upheld the teachings of Jesus Christ, when actually all of the opposite is true. And so you realize as you grow up and you do your research and you start to liberate your mind from the propaganda you were fed as a child, our ancestors actually were great virtuous men. They actually did courageous things. They actually built something that we should be proud of. And all the sins that we were told they were guilty of were all lies. And we actually should never apologize for the DNA that we carry in the blood that runs through our veins and the civilization that we have inherited that they created. We should be proud of those things. We should push them. We should build upon them and take them to new heights and new levels. And I feel bad for men like this black pastor, because at the end of the day, you know, I get angry over some of the things that have been perpetrated against my people, especially recently as a young man seeing what black people are saying about white people online, calling for our murder. I still do, as a Christian, I look upon the rest of the world, no matter what race you are, and I want to have the love of Christ for all people. And I want them to be reached with the gospel because I believe the gospel is so powerful. It can create saving grace for all peoples and can create a better society and life for everyone. But this black pastor, it's like he's, when he's speaking to the public, it's just in one ear and out the other. Black people are just going to call him, Uncle Ruckus, and then just, toss him to the side, laugh at him. But if they were to listen to this guy, actually, people would be a lot less racist. Actually, people would be a lot more caring, and people would give you a second chance, and they wouldn't be so upset about black crime in general. But people, they don't want to listen to that. They don't want to accept that. And actually, they just want to chimp out over it. So I feel bad for this guy. I wish that we could reach out to the black community with the gospel of Jesus Christ and really radically transform they themselves, their lives. But it's not being received.
Well, dude.
I wish it was the case, but it's just not the case.
Listen, call me Baby Do-Rag. Call me Baby Do-Rag back in the hood. And they call me Baby Do-Rag. Do you know what? Watch this. Sorry, let me just watch this.
Oh, brother.
Is that
The fact that you thought that was a person is exactly the problem here. You don't even know when they're eating animals. Okay, like you can tell if I'm eating an animal or not. You can tell if I'm eating a human. No, that's obviously some sort of a monkey or like. And then someone was like, someone literally said they're like,
can you imagine eating meat like that with your boys?
Honestly,
like,
kind of,
you
yes.
take the same
actually, that's kind of cool. Honestly, that's like, I'm gonna say it's kind of base.
Yo,
it's
that's
like
primal.
You're just like
that's primal.
But that should be intentionally for like a primal lesson of like, hey, this is how our ancestors, used to eat maybe. But we have forks and knives and stuff. I bring this up. Look, dude, I'm not talking shit on poor people. What I'm just trying to say is that's what black people are doing today. Okay, like that's like we talk shit on Albanians and Serbians or things and like how they're like a little bit ghetto. It's like, dude, blacks without whites just live like that because they just be do. Okay, so
what's crazy about that video is
crazy.
Because they're wearing Western clothing that was invented by Europeans, manufactured by a European country, probably
USA. It's given to USA.
Right. Humanitarian aid.
Right. And then it gets sent over there, and then they're holding a cell phone invented and manufactured by a white man. But at the same time, they're still operating like 5,000 years, like people did 5,000 years ago, eating like a monkey leg straight off of a little fire of coals and ashes.
You know,
starting to get
the duality of man right here.
I'm starting to get the feeling that black people are not like us, guys.
What?
What are you talking about?
I feel like something's up with them.
How could
you-
you angry right now?
Disgusting. That's disgusting.
I just thought we were all the same. Let's go to Deep Ellum tonight.
No.
Like this. It'd be great. Juneteenth. Dude, people are gonna get shot tonight. You want to go with guns? You want to just like go with gats and like hang out with blacks and film videos, like put some rap music, do like a hype Reddit with just like in do-rags with blacks.
What do you guys think, chat? Should we die tonight?
You're not gonna die, dude. Blacks are like pit bulls, dude. It's like you just don't show fear and they're fine.
They kill
Dude.
people.
Pit bulls
They're like
literally are
pit bulls. They kill people.
I called black
Great.
people niggas at the Carmelo Anthony protest, and they didn't seem to care.
They almost ate me, like the guy they just ate on the camera.
Because you showed because you're short and like well because unironically I'm like pretty I hold my composure, right? The only guy who was like giving me a little bit of the spooks was that guy, the 6'9" guy that was like walking around. He played for the Sixers. I don't know who he was. Carmelo's like uncle or something like that. He was definitely whatever. Yeah, Carmelo. No, I'm not really afraid of blacks, by the way. And that's why like I just did what I did. I just brandished a firearm and the cops didn't care and it dispersed them 3 times. And by the way, guys, before anyone uses this in court or anything, they had threatened to murder us several times already and pulled out weapons before I brandished a firearm. So that's a defensive. You backed up, grabbed my weapon because, that's what they were going to do. And apparently it made it on the news. So that was cool.
Yeah. So we agreed that they were trying to kill me.
Yes.
You're trying to go back on that.
Yes, but I also like picked up some of your new marks. You started backing up away from the police and I grabbed you by the shoulder. I was like,
thanks.
Let's back up this way. And I started backing up towards the police line. I was like, how about we don't go up to Carmelo Anthony's crazy tent up there and have a second Austin Metcalf go on right now. They were brandishing knives, at the Carmelo. I guess it was in solidarity of Carmelo.
The Carmelo cookout.
Yeah, the Carmelo cookout. That's what we just watched. It's called the Carmelo cookout.
Dude, every time there's like a group of blacks,
feed
they
Carmelo
call it
to
the
black
Carmelo
children.
cookout. Yo, it's another Carmelo cookout,
Dude, and
bro.
this is where I want to have fun. Like in Juneteenth today, we should have grilled stuff and done like a hype Reddit called the Carmelo Cookout and had like Hennessy and like, you know, like, and like, this is a little bit my Sam Hyde influence, but it's like, that'd be so good. Be like, you know, showing your grills, you're like, Carmelo, you know what I mean? Like that. It's like, and you're like doing the Carmelo Cookout and be like, I challenge every one of you who supports Carmelo, do your own Carmelo cookout and tag 5 more niggas. And that's how you end it. 5 more niggas. It's like the water bucket challenge. You know, it's like the Carmelo Cookout challenge. I want to say, you know, I'm not gonna play any more like just black people in Africa because it's actually like quite interesting. It is
Oh, wait.
yeah, I'll leave this one. I'll leave this one.
Yeah,
This is our last. We're gonna switch to the Wiggers here for a second, but
this one's good.
My lawyer called me today, and he's like, I'm like, dude, what's going on? I found this out. This is even worse. I'm like, what's going on, dude? I'd like to take next steps in this case that I'm involved in. He's like, I was trying to like basically call people the last couple days or whatever. Like people are taking time off. Apparently, there's this holiday called Juneteenth or something like that. I found out the courts are closed.
What that mean?
The courts are closed. He goes, wait. He said the funniest thing. He's a white guy, like a rich white guy. He goes, apparently this happened last year too. Like it's like it's like apparently this shit's been happening and I didn't know about it. You know, it's like, and I was like, oh, it's gonna keep happening. He's like, okay, well, I guess it's like some sort of federal holiday. He even asked me, what is this? And I'm like, it's not real. It's just like it's like one of these fake holidays that we make, like Kwanzaa or something or Hanukkah. It's not real and it's fake. They made it up and they killed Jesus Christ. But
that's so based, bro.
Dude, you know what else would be a hyper edit too? Like that's what would be so funny to like wear a suit and like have it with like Mog music, and it's like just say all the basic points about Jews, but with like good edits and be like, you know, it wasn't 6 million, it was really 271,000, and like change strategy. Like, have you heard of something called the USS Liberty?
'Cause you're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out.
Dude, it's
Should I
so
keep going?
all of them too. You're saying you're saying that it was a death camp, but they had a theater and pools inside. It's like, oh, you mean gas chambers? You mean a delousing? That would be a great video. But
I
it's
can't
like,
rest easy unless I die in an Agartha music video, bro.
dude, if
in
we
an
make
Agartha edit.
Ironic
Can't
white
rest
edits
easy.
would be absolutely great. You know what I mean? Like, even with the blacks, be like, oh, you're saying that it's Juneteenth? Well, did you know that 13% of the population makes up over more than 50% of the crime?
Let's go, dude. Did you know that?
Drop that in your black ass, you fucking black hairy ass bitch. You put that in your fucking black hairy ass motherfucker.
Dude, I just had a flashback to peak 2020 Protestant music. We all bleed the same.
Oh my God.
We're better when we stand together. We all bleed the same.
Oh my God.
Dude, bro. And then I found out that they have to like go beg black people to give blood, to donate blood, because they don't have enough blood for black patients that will actually transmit. So they literally have to ask more black people to give blood. It's like, wait, I thought we all bleed the same, bro. Georgie, I thought we all bleed the same.
He actually sings pretty good. I thought it was going to be more off key there. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, that's.
You want to hear my song
we
I
can
wrote
do
for
better.
today?
Go ahead, rip it. He thought about that for a second.
My metronome. Shall I get my metronome going? Okay, thank you. Freedom! Oh yeah! I got freedom. I was out in the fields, oh, and they made me work for so many days. Freedom down. I want freedom
by the bayou.
Freedom by the bayou. We're adding in extra lyrics. I've been with for so many days. It was 40 days. That Lord. It's a real song, by the way.
Oh Lord.
Dude, we should take blacks.
Down,
dude, also too, dude.
Down by
dude,
the bayou.
if we can rage bait people,
hallelujah.
Like, do you know like people who make just ironic stuff? I'm gonna write these ideas down and start making stuff. Like, dude, like Like, I really wish we would have done something like, if you're out there and you're white and you support Carmelo Anthony, take a knee with me today. This Juneteenth. Hashtag June 19th, take a knee. Carmelo Anthony will be free. And it's like,
where's your
freedom,
fist, Georgie?
Freedom.
Where's your fist, Georgie?
Yeah, I love that shit.
Amen, brother. Hey, Elijah, you're just leaving us hanging here. Clip this. Clip this, Draco.
Freedom. I want freedom.
From my people. From my people.
Broseph said, why man got their foot on my neck?
Are we good people?
They also asked us if we could start taking drugs, please.
Are we good people?
I don't think anyone's good.
This is for the cause.
So true. It's very orthodox of you. You're learning.
Model Orthodox here.
Wait, what's your name again?
Ortho General.
Wait, what's your name?
Orthodox General.
Commander-in-Chief.
Yeah, I fought in the Ortho Bro Wars of 2025. We memed those Catholics to death. Everyone thought my comments about
General Ortho
getting
Bro.
trad cats to do bad
General
things was
Ortho
bad humor.
Bro.
We humiliated those trad cats. That's what being Orthodox is about. It's not about serving God and doing what's right. It's about making trad cats wrong in arguments on X and telling everyone who wants to be Orthodox that they're not holy enough to become catechumen and that you have to start perfect. And then that's how you, I mean, that's like completely against the whole like Orthodox tradition and all the years.
No, bro.
But Ortho Bros online is like you, I'm learning this now very closely. Life is about appearing holy on X, and that's what it's about. And like, you know, the whole like head cover for women, you know, that was meant for humility and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Can we get a digital head covering for female Orthodox on the internet, please? Because what are you doing? And also,
if you're not posting you and your head covering on Twitter, are you really Orthodox?
Yeah.
Are you really fertile and ready for children?
If you do not,
if you're not,
and if you're a
posting your head
guy,
covering.
if you're a guy and you don't put you don't upload a new picture of every new icon you've added to your altar, are you really praying to God? Are you really praying to the saints and to God if you don't add a new icon? It is actually very performative, and I will say this: online religion is so performative. It is not just prots. Okay, at least the prots own the performance. Like
if
here's
your
the deal.
Orthodox cross is not the header of your Twitter, then are you a real Ortho bro? Only the general Ortho bro can have the Orthodox.
Commander-in-Chief.
Commander-in-Chief.
Yeah, Commander-in-Chief of the catechumen. Catechumen-in-chief right here.
The catechumen army.
No, and by the way, we're not making fun of the Orthodox Church. We're making fun of the people that claim to be representatives, the Ortho Bros. It's so bad, dude. It's I guess we'll do it on a side note here.
And it's all catechumens too.
But
it's mostly catechumens that aren't confirmed.
Yes, but I want to relate this to the
lurk more.
I want to relate
more.
this to the dude, as an expert.
There's no one we know like that, right?
Sorry, Jake.
There's no one we know like that.
as one, basically, if we were in the platform prison in the Netflix adaptation, God would have started me one level above Jay Dyer because he knows that I'm like a higher spokesperson, more credible too. I'm like more credible on this stuff.
Full disavowal.
Clip that and tag Jay Dyer, please.
You know, people know the most credible Orthodox. No, but the thing is I would never claim to be like a spokesperson for it, and I don't know where these people who believe in like apostolic succession think that because they have a following on X that they can become spokespeople for the church. It's very interesting to me that they do that. And I bring this up with the perversion of the church. You know, it is interesting, before we go to the Wiggers, you know, one of the infiltrations that happened in the civil rights movement was to turn black churches. There was a target on black Baptist churches because they saw that, I don't know what this is about, and I haven't looked into it enough, but I do know that devout Christian blacks were actually exceptions to the rule. And it was like, if you were a devout Christian, and you would even see this in, by the way, in movies of remakes in like pre-civil rights era. I know it's movies, but like I've read stories like based on true stories, by the way, but like they'd be like, I'm a God-fearing man, sir. I go to church every Sunday and I serve God. I'm in my Sunday best. And blacks would like put on their Sunday best. I actually think the flashy culture of blacks kind of derives innately from the Sunday best of like putting your best on for God. And like you would show people, I don't know if you've ever seen that video about, let me see if I can find it here real fast. This is actually interesting.
While you do that, I'll read a couple super chats from ToughFan7541, $9, thanks. Or $10 actually. He said, last time I was in Walmart, I seen a huge black chick go into the bathroom on speakerphone. She didn't wash her hands, then came out and touched all the produce. Yuck. And another one, $5 from the same guy. He says, I went to my coworker's house and he did not take the batteries out of his smoke alarm. He ripped the smoke alarm off the wall, leaving wires exposed.
That's crazy.
That's what they do, bro.
Yo, how did bro know she didn't wash her hands, though? How did bro know that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you went
get the
into the bathroom with her?
Are you
I don't know, bro. It's a little sus. But what you just said there at the end, that was kind of my point earlier. Is like if they were accurately and legitimately proselytized, there would be real change, not the whole community, just like any community, but not the whole community. There would be real change within the black population in America. It's become so anti-Christ. Like if you look at the culture at this point, there really is no more antithetical culture probably in the entire world to Jesus Christ than black American culture. It is the celebration of every form of degeneracy known to man, like drugs, murder, and whoredom. And that's like everything that they push and everything that they celebrate. And if you criticize that, you're an evil racist person who should never be able to have a job and walk the street safely. And that's what we see time and time again.
Elijah,
Yeah.
I'm curious. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, no, oh yeah, here it is. Like, so I want to show you this. This is actually pretty interesting. So people knew about this from a while ago. Check this out. So this is a 1954 video. It's public domain, so it won't get copyrighted. It's a few minutes. I want you to watch this. They knew early on that like black people were different than whites, and they are different. Watch this. Have you seen this? How to sell to a Negro?
No, I have not seen that.
Must have the backing.
What's the title called? How to sell to a Negro. The secret of selling to the Negro.
Oh, yeah, in the field. What do you have to sell? Chewing gum or cars? Toothpaste or transportation? Whatever it is, here are millions of prospects. And these prospects are everywhere. Negro customers can no longer be pigeonholed.
Put us
They
on the
cannot
screen.
be classified as prospects who trade only in certain stores, certain neighborhoods. Today, Negroes shop downtown. They shop in supermarkets. They shop in small neighborhood stores. They'll buy from anyone who wants to sell to them. But we all know that before you can sell to customers, you've got to get to know them.
Okay, real fast. This is where I was saying where forced integration of the 60s didn't actually mess things up. Did you hear what he just said there? You can keep us on the screen with that. I'm going to keep playing it. I'm making some notes. He said,
I'll come back to it.
He said, they'll shop anywhere where they want to sell to them. Okay. And that's like good because look, if you don't want to sell to people, like you can deny people service for not wearing shoes and shirts. It's not even a human right. It's like if you're not wearing a shoe and shirt, you can't be served. In Australia, they go barefoot. If you try to go into a bar barefoot, you can't because of the glass. You can't be served. It's like, hey, look, if whites didn't want to serve to blacks and they had the right of freedom of association and didn't have to do it, and this is where actual capitalism is, and you realized that your store that you didn't want to sell to all blacks, but if blacks were dressed nicely and seemed like citizens, you'd be happy to sell to them. It's like that sign with the right to refuse service to anyone is literally like, if you're chimping out in my business, I can kick you out. That's what that means, by the way. And that's basically what this policy was. And that's good because you know what would happen is if blacks actually like good blacks and they knew that like, people only want to sell to you if you dress nicely and look good and contribute, then maybe blacks would be like, you can't just be like, give me them shoes. Give me them shoes. It's like, no, you can't just walk in here and be a black like that. I'm not racist, but if you look like you're not going to steal, then you can come into my store. And I think that would have fixed a lot of racial tension because when you're in a store, you wouldn't assume a black's going to steal because you'd assume the owners, they have the right to refuse service to bad blacks. They don't have to follow them around with security. Okay. And I know that this happens because I was with my black friend one time. It never happened to me before. I walked in, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a grocery store, Target. I don't remember what it was. We were younger, like teenagers. And I walked in with a backpack from school. Never been stopped for a backpack. Was with my black friend. And I got stopped in the aisle, the deodorant aisle, by security. And he made me open up my backpack, grab my backpack, come to the front, search the backpack. And I was like really thrown off. I was like, what? Like, what are you looking for, dude? And I'm like, I don't steal. But I was with a black, and so he assumed we were stealing. And I guess blacks do get followed around stores. That's probably a good thing. I'd rather have blacks but let me ask you this. Would you rather have blacks get followed around or would you rather have to get an attendant to open up your deodorant, plastic casing? And I just want to say this video is interesting because they already knew blacks were different. And if they're different, then society should not be treating everyone equally. We should require blacks to prove themselves in order to integrate. And I believe that thoroughly. And by the way, for all the Wignats and stuff, I hate to break it to you, but we missed the shot to deport all the blacks to Africa, okay? we kind of missed it.
Yeah.
It's a little too late to do so. And yeah, they got a lot of guns, and it's not gonna be. We're never gonna get them out of here. Okay, they're not going anywhere.
Not with that attitude.
Well, you're gonna have to kill it. You're gonna have to kill them.
Georgie's gonna lead the charge.
Yeah,
actually.
I got this.
No,
Don't worry.
it's just not gonna happen. And so the best solution is like doing what Rhodesia did: is together but separate. And we need an air horn that goes out, an air raid siren at the tornadoes, and they have to have a curfew. I think. Dude, what happens when blacks take over beaches? They have to put curfews in the city. It just fixes the problem. What happened here at Frisco Mall? They put a curfew, and they put and no blacks, well, no teens can walk around unaccompanied. No unaccompanied minors allowed at the mall anymore. You saw that? No unaccompanied minors, and there's a curfew at 6 that you have to be with someone 21 and older, 21 and older past 6 o'clock.
Really?
So yeah, that's a real thing, and it fixed the mall. We actually were scared when we went there, so I'm down to go back and see what it's like, because maybe I might shop there again whenever I have money again.
Yeah.
Check this out.
Understand something about them. What do the Negro customers buy? Why do they buy? How do you sell to them? Let's find out. Let's hear the opinion of men who have spent a lifetime studying the buying habits of customers the world over. Here is what sales psychologists have to say about selling to the Negro.
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. Now, there's nothing unusual about that. People want to be recognized. They need recognition. That's basic in all of us. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated. This need is a very real and important one. It shows up even in many of the Negro's shopping habits. Anyone who sells or wants to sell to the Negro customer should know about some of these habits. 3 habits in particular play a big part in every sales transaction. To begin with, most Negroes buy by brand. They ask for products by name. They're quick to turn down off-brands. Do you wonder why? Well, listen to what this customer is thinking.
That last hat I bought just didn't hold up at all.
You see, for a long time, the Negro has been sold a lot of shoddy, second-class merchandise. So now he asks for name brands in order to make sure he gets his money's worth.
I'm going to put you up on the screen.
Okay, so look, that's interesting because, we all know that minorities in general but blacks specifically are obsessed with brands,
Right, true.
They're obsessed with brands. Mm-hmm. And you go, where did that come from? Well, that came from a place, right? Because you had to understand our history of what happened. But it makes sense. Like, I bet you blacks were getting the shit scammed out of them. Mm-hmm. I actually kind of believe that, if you were like a appliance salesman and you had like a kind of a faulty, item, I would imagine there was appliance stores that would only sell them, the faulty items. They're dented or messed up. And because it's like, what could they do? Go to the police because you sold them, Consumer Electronics Bureau or something like that? Like, no. And I think that that's wrong to take advantage of people who are just trying to survive. Okay. And I think that this time in the 50s proves that we could have at least, I'll say this very sparingly, we could have at least fixed the black issue at least 50% if we kept on this trajectory where we treated them well enough while we also expected them to rise up. So we were like, look, you can't shop everywhere, but we're going to let whites have the decision if they want to let you shop. But the whites are actually racist. And if you're not a good behaving black, then they're not going to sell to you. And then we could have, I think blacks here, this is where they're going before it was cheap stuff. You can't find another drink in the garage. Not in the garage. Not in any of the drawers anywhere. Even in the both things.
Energy drinks.
What?
I don't think we have any energy drinks.
Oh, not even the warm ones down there by the. That sucks. All right, well, split it with me. Split it with me in a cup. It is interesting. Before you just blame blacks, is like what kind of can you just grab a cup or whatever? Never mind. What kind of happened is that the blacks kind of realized that they wanted name brands to show people that they could afford what they could afford to prove that they had a place in society. Mm-hmm. And what happened is that the Jews, I hate to say this, but the Jews preyed upon that, and cheap capitalism, crony capitalism coming through the 70s and 80s basically started saying, well, that hat is a high quality hat. So it's like, well, you know, now it's like, well, we slap a label on it. It's still cheap stuff made in Indonesia. You go into my best example of this is every luxury store. I used to have money. Okay, so I used to buy a lot of Boss clothing, the German brand. And if you go to the back of the store, Boss, it's all made in Germany, right? It's all made in Germany. You can walk in front of the cameras right now because we're just having a second half of the show. It's all made in Germany, and it's beautiful. It's tailored. They tailor it for you. They treat you well. But if you go to and it's all white people in the back. But if you go to the front of the store, it's a brand called Hugo Boss, which makes great cologne, but it's called Hugo Boss. And it's got like big Boss, you know, things. Same with like Ralph Lauren. You got Ralph Lauren, which is a Jewish brand, but still Americana. You go to Ralph Lauren, you got the purple collection, you got the nice clothing, and then people do what? Polo Ralph Lauren. Now, Polo was even fine. Polo's fine. People wear polos, even rich people wear polos. It's a good, cheap shirt. You don't want to wear a $500 shirt. You want to wear a $200 shirt, $150 shirt. What happened to the logo of the polo? It just keeps getting bigger, dude. It's like, it's literally like it's growing. You know, it's got a sildenafil logo, you know? You put a little Viagra on that shit and it just grows. And it's now the whole like logo on the shirt is just like a giant polo guy. But where did that come from? Where did that model come from? It came from blacks trying to prove themselves, which is why I don't wear labels, because wearing logos is inherently black and brown coded. Wearing labels
really
is inherently black and brown coded. And if you into that, you are a poor person trying to make people think you're rich, and rich people don't wear labels. I can tell you that for a matter of fact. And just because you have polo on, wear the little logo. This is a little style tip to people. Don't wear graphic tees unless it's a band and you're going to a concert, and don't wear logos because it's cheap, it's chintzy. You can all have to be rich, just don't look poor. It's very white, very non-white coded to wear brands. It's very non-white coded. Except for working out. If you want to wear Nike or whatever, that's fine. But in public or in, you know, no one thinks you're rich because you have a giant polo logo on. You think you're Middle Eastern.
It's a long show tonight. I was getting kind of tired, so I went to go get an energy drink for us to split. Yeah, I am a noob. New to this BS, but I'm glad I walked in on a really intellectual and thought-provoking conversation. You know, logos, the size of the brand on your t-shirt. I'm very proud to work for a highbrow organization, you know, Georgie. Isn't that so real?
So real.
Isn't that so true? But I don't know what all happened in this video that we just watched.
They were saying we can maybe we'll if you guys want to look that up, I'll drop the link in the description. We were saying that we missed, I'll just summarize in 3 sentences. We missed the gap where we could have maybe fixed the black problem 50% better than it is today. And a lot of the things we hate about blacks developed with blacks having good intentions. And they began to care about name brands in the 50s because they were always sold shoddy items. And so then they realized now that they had money and could afford things, they wanted to show whites they could integrate. And so they took the advantage now that whites would sell to them, that they wanted high quality materials. And we missed the part where it said they liked very vibrant and complex swaths for their suits and stuff and liners, because the more expensive and silky and flashy the liners and the material was, the more that they could let whites know in public that they had money and they didn't need to be afraid of them. And it was a way of showing whites, when you showed your wealth publicly, that let whites know, I'm a rich black, I'm not a poor black, you don't really need to be afraid of me. And it helped them to go through society without being chastised, and it could get them into stores, into restaurants. So blacks began, when they got money, wearing really expensive, nice jewelry and things to show people they had money, and that's where it developed from.
Well, that actually makes sense. And it's honestly not just isolated to them. It's just acted upon in a different way with white people. White people who are broke, you know, everyone knows they're broke. White people with money. Stop. White people with money who are like upper middle class or kind of rich, you know, they'll wear pretty flashy clothes. They'll also wear some name brand stuff, have a nice watch on. The richest, though, and it's a very interesting dynamic, the richest people, the billionaires, they wear shirts that don't have any brands or logos, that if you just, the average person look at them, they would think it's just normal, but actually it's like a $5,000 white t-shirt that has literally zero branding upon it. It's very interesting, the levels to this of flexing. But it makes sense, and I wish we could go back to those types of times. I do think, and it's very played out in Con Inc., but it is a fact that back in the 50s, when the blacks had a family unit more similar to white people, it was not as bad, man. It really wasn't as bad. And I feel bad for them. And I wish that they had this cohesive society and community that uplifted the best in each other, looked out for each other, had each other's backs. Instead, it's constant denigration and attacking of their own people. I feel like I don't really see that from white people or any other race as much. If one black person's doing well, it seems like they want to destroy that guy and take what is his for themselves. But then when they rise up, then someone else does the same exact pattern to them. So it's just a never ending cycle. It seems like, I don't know. I want better for him. I really do. But sorry, quit stabbing us. Until then, we're going to go hard as fuck.
Well, we have a super chat actually here on YouTube. $5 from Tug fan 7541 said, I went to my coworker's house and he did not take the batteries out of the smoke alarm.
I already read that one.
Oh, well, I can read it. He ripped the smoke alarm off the wall, leaving wires exposed. Did you ever see that one video when the smoke alarm thing came out where they went around asking black people? They showed them that sound and went, what is this sound? And like half them knew what it was. They go, I don't know. I hear that all the time. And he'd be like, what is this sound? Beep. And then they'd be like, and then, so there was that video where they actually heard it. And then did you not see that one? It was like, I think it was like a Zoom interview or like some sort of a class thing. And it was like distracting. It's like, beep. And the person's talking, it's like, beep. And like, I don't know, it was a professor interviewer was like, excuse me. Like, what is that sound behind you? It's kind of distracting. Like, what is that? And the girl's like, what you mean? And she's like, the sound, the beeping noise. And she's like, looking around. She's like, I don't hear nothing. And she's like, the sound that keeps beeping in the middle of you talking. It's like going beep.
It's a fish in water, bro.
No,
they've grown up around it their entire lives. It's so ubiquitous. It's just like, that's supposed to happen. What are you talking about? They literally can't even hear it. It's like a dog, a super high-pitched noise that a dog can hear. We can hear that. They couldn't hear it. They're so used to it.
What have you pulled up on the screen? Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, okay, so
brother.
now we're going to switch tune here for a second.
My favorite conversation.
Throw a Zyn in and drink an energy drink and you'll be back up. That's your life.
What? That wasn't. No. I literally meant like this is my favorite conversation.
Also,
this is me right now. This is my people. Y'all are about to see.
Yeah,
this.
but also training tip live on air. If you guys ever have to do anything, that's a long time. Go do push-ups in between. Like if you do push-ups, it literally gets all your blood flowing, and then it's kind of crazy. And then yeah, and then you also punch yourself in the balls, and it'll wake you up.
Someone said I'm making their dog go crazy with the noise with this.
All right, let's talk about the side effect of Juneteenth, which is Wiggers. We've all seen people like this during the perk. This is like the Lil Xan movement, Lil Peep era. Rest in peace. Watch.
Yo, to look like you. I ain't father, say I don't never see you. Come to my life right now and you blame you. I'm my father, my mother, they go. I don't know what time about money on gang.
Okay. I'm going to go to you for a second on this because I really love people like this. Do you know that the Wigger accent to me is a Bayou French Creole? My opinion, it comes from like a Creole French white Southern accent because it has a little bit of the cadence.
Yeah.
But it's influenced by like mumble rappers. And also, before you judge him, it's also influenced by a lot of Percocets and a lot of Xanax, okay? A lot of Xanax and a lot of... Everyone becomes a Wigger on enough Xanax, okay? True. Not that I've ever done it, but I'm just saying I've seen people do it.
From my neck of the woods, we just call that retard. That's...
Those are Wiggers.
That's what I was always told. But Wiggers, dude, national crisis, national emergency. Donald Trump, we need an executive order. These Wiggers are out of control. This is scary. I'm actually afraid. What is going on? Did big guy. Did big tough. Appreciate it, bro. What is happening? This kid, have y'all seen this? I don't know if you even have this pulled up. It's pulled up right now. So we're going to play this for you guys, and then we'll do a step-by-step breakdown, okay? If we can get that going, you guys need to see this.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Elijah's going to be ready.
Elijah
3, 2, 1, and go. And go.
No, my
hit play.
My headphones got plugged out.
Hit play.
3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, that bit tough.
Shit.
That big guy.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, buddy. Yes, sir.
So here...
I like how the black in the encounter sounded more white than the white guy. He's like, of course, I appreciate your business.
Like he thought he was going to encounter this young... developing white man, you know, gonna be respectable, just wants to dine
I'm gonna
in
make some money in a white neighborhood.
You know, an African delectable.
Yeah.
And then it turns out this is a Wiggarthan in the wild.
A big guy.
This is a young Wigger on his transition to Wiggartha. And, you know, it's just crazy to see. You see this kid, he's got like the stereotypical 12-year-old, like white baseball cap on, looks like he just got off practice. And he's now developed into what we call the world-renowned Wigger. The definition of a Wigger. Dibita. Dibiga. Appreciate it, bro. I feel like this would have been Elijah Schaefer had he been born in like Atlanta, Georgia.
Someone's saying in chat, please stop the smoke detector. What smoke detector?
I haven't heard any smoke detectors.
I have no idea what this guy's talking about.
Do you know this is like, you ever seen the tinfoil hat where the aliens can't read your mind? This is you just can't hear high pitched noises. I did once read a tweet that was true. It was like the year is 2055 and the Browns have taken over and we're like communicating through smoke alarm chirps, like Morse code. It's like beep, 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 beep. It's like just like out in public, being beep, 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 beep.
When we all have Neuralink implanted into the back of our brains, but it's actually just smoke alarm chirps going back and forth. That's how me and Georgie communicate right now.
Yeah. Telepathically.
But, in the future, that's going to be mandated across the entire country. Elon Musk, with his Jewish robots, they're going to be sending smoke alarm chirps to your brain.
Well, okay, but the thing is like you see this video with this girl. I can't find it, but this is the girl here. It is like
seems like a nice young independent woman to me.
It's people that do this. It's people that do this hand thing.
Dude, I want to nuke this shit. Nuke this shit immediately, please, for the love of God.
What is this? Do we know what this is?
It means like period. I think that's what it's supposed to mean.
Type shit. Type shit.
Yeah, type shit. Actually, actually, that's probably a better description. Type shit.
Type shit.
Type shit.
Shit.
I'm gonna jump off the Burj Khalifa. Bro. I swear to God.
Back to you, Elijah.
I can't handle this anymore. Dude, Elijah Schaefer just
back to you, Elijah.
On the phone the whole show. I wonder, Elijah, whatever happened to your mud shark, bro? Whatever happened to your mud shark, dude?
I became the mud.
Yeah, he's acting like the very people he's trying to destroy.
I became the mud. We just have as the internet says, a pedophile rapist falls in love with a mud shark and they live happily ever after.
Bro,
That's what the internet says.
Bro totally forgot the joke we were supposed to set up. He told me to do. It was like a good time.
Well, I think we're going to say it something different.
That's exactly what I was supposed to say.
Okay, try it again.
Yo, Schaefer, what happened to your mud shark, bro?
Actually, ISIS is like the most important person that's ever come into my life, basically, like, ever. And I'm like in love with her, okay? I'm gonna go fight.
Ouch! Jeez! Ow!
Well, that was a waste of time.
It's like, my girl actually told me that I look like Kip today. I was like, what do you think of me as a G? And she's like, you look like Kip. I was like, oh. She's my LaFonda.
I'm the Napoleon to your Kip, bro. It's over for me, dude. I've never been more chopped in my life, brother. Holy shit. The Wigger transformation did not do me well. Not at all.
Back to you, Elijah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Look at this guy. Yo, clip this guy right now. I'll just put the show on my back.
Doing that every time he texts.
I'm backpacking the show today. I'm carrying it. We're walking around holding Rift TV together by a Gucci backpack. Okay.
He's like, yeah, we're going to keep the show going.
No, I was actually important. It was actually, if I'm texting the show, it's very important. So
is Rift TV Gucci backpack, bro?
Yeah. It is.
Rift TV is Gucci backpack. It's okay. No, we're going to save it. We're going to save it, you guys.
Yeah,
that one string.
We'll take it from here.
That's still holding it together. That's Georgie.
Yeah,
okay.
real.
Yeah.
Georgie.
Okay. So, but we have this problem of like, I really do feel bad for these whites that are raised around blacks because socioeconomically they can't not be raised, right? So you have this like, I actually feel bad for like this kind of kid, like it's like you just feel bad. You feel bad for this guy,
right?
Always.
Let your homeboy try it. Oh yeah. Let me know what it's talking about, man.
Shit gas.
Okay.
The shit gas. So let's talk about the negrification of whites. Okay, this is a real problem. Girls, you're the hottest blonde girl you know that was raised in a WASP home is twerking in a bar this weekend. Okay, she is twerking. She is twerking.
With
She
the
is
homies.
twerking with the homies.
On the homies.
On the homies.
That's when you need the staring face meme of that one bald guy.
No,
that's exactly
listen.
what I feel like
Can you
every
do it
time I
again?
go
Do
out.
it.
No,
Let's go
no,
real quick.
no, I can't, bro. No,
All right, back
I
to you,
can't.
Elijah.
Put me on the spot. And he's texting immediately. God,
Why are you
bro.
cutting to me when I'm not speaking?
Every time, bro.
I'm like not
No,
even
call
supposed to be
it- no, it's
speaking
just a
right
new-
now.
it's a new bit I'm running
I'm
with.
not
Guy.
supposed to be speaking. It's supposed to be on him. I know how production works.
Yeah, right, of course.
I know how
okay.
production works, but I have a producer
Yeah.
who's not running production.
Yes, sir. General
appropriately.
Ortho, bro,
it's my
sir.
fault. Yeah.
Yeah. That
I'd
was
like
totally
to make
my
a statement
fault.
on production on behalf of
go ahead.
the Orthodox catechumens around the world as an official spokesman.
Yeah.
Okay?
Go ahead.
Oh God, total blank right there.
No, I
jump
was
back in.
trying to say something.
Back to you, Nikki.
Dash a whack. Okay?
Dash
a
your
whack.
for sure, bro. But dude, that's so real. Like the hottest girl you know is twerking in the bar right now. Man, so sad. I've seen it so many times. But then you like want to call it out, and then I think back to like my last week before I graduated, like drunk in the bar, you know, like the college bar that everyone goes to, and it's like, dude, Cardi B is playing and you are having a great time. You're having a great time with the boys. So it's so real. It's like you can't even escape it. What am I supposed to say? But it is sad. Like, it's one thing to be standing there and I'm like, you know, the DJ is going to play his song. I would probably rather him play like a Hot and Cold by Katy Perry remix. Like, that would probably be better for me. But you're going to hear the song that he plays and you're going to have a good time. Are we supposed to LARP right now in the middle of the dance floor and like start, this is not white culture, you know, in the middle of the night at like 1 a.m. in the bar? No, you're not going to do that. But it's another level when you look around and you see like all the hot girls and they're like going like this, and they're throwing it back. And there's like, it's a girls' night out, you know, and like their girlfriends are like slapping their ass. What are you even supposed to do right now, bro? Like it's so over. It's so over. And all you can do, you know, so real. Who said that? Somebody said it's like, dude, you gotta wife the hoe, man. You gotta wife the hoe and pray she doesn't go out on you, bro. Pray she doesn't leave you. What else are we doing, dog? It's like you get the trad cath and they're going to the Rift TV casting couch. Like sorry, maybe I shouldn't say that.
No, it's true. But it's true.
You know, they're going to a certain man
They are
named
going to
E's
Elijah
house.
Schaefer and
They're
the
going
FTV
to
casting.
Elijah
I'm looking
Schaefer's
for that
house,
real
bro.
fast. That's what I'm looking for.
He is renting. No, I'm not gonna say that. You know, but what else are we gonna do? So there's a two-pronged approach for this. Either you fully black pill, you give in and you wife the hoe, or you look for the unicorn out there who is going to love you and care for you and nurture your children. I guess I'm going to try the second one, but like we've kind of already tried the second one.
It always loops back to the first.
It always goes
eventually.
back to the
Yeah,
first,
it's a
bro.
full circle.
And then you realize it's like kind of more fun, but it's always like destructive for your soul. And it's indicative of America at large right now. It's like we are all looking for the unicorn, but you all go back to the whore shaking ass in the club because what else are you going to do?
Well, do you remember this oldie but goodie on the first Juneteenth when KFC put this announcement up? This is not a joke, by the way. They took it down.
That's crazy.
They took it down.
I remember this.
Yeah, they took it down. Happy Emancipation
Yeah.
Day with the fried chicken.
Go.
Take that off real fast. I will say though, like, you know, I do feel bad for people. There's somebody made a meme. Shout out to whoever made this, by the way. I could not. Should I play?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
I
yeah,
love
we can,
this,
yeah.
bro.
yeah. So apparently, I have some sort of a reputation on the internet that I'm not entirely.
You do?
That I believe.
I don't know where this came from.
This is the reputation actually what led me to be nominated as the general of the catechumen. Actually, this is the no. I have some sort of like weird reputation online that I'm somebody that I'm like not, and I'll take it though. I mean, it's kind of cool. People think I'm like people have said you're like a pimp, and it's like I'm not really. That's not actually my lifestyle, but the internet thinks I am, and I didn't know how bad it's gotten on the internet until somebody took the time to make this. Who made this? This is Beeston Wilder, and he tagged me.
Shout out, bro.
He tagged me in this, and I go, "Oh, thanks, cool. You made a video about our network. This is gonna be wholesome and nice. Let's see." Hey, thanks for coming. What's your name again?
Hi.
Oh, a dumb broad. Perfect. Take a seat. So, what makes you want to be a conservative e-girl?
I don't know. It's just been hard to find a job out of college, and I've been getting less likes on Instagram.
I just hit 25, and
You got a couple years left.
I wasn't really
Spit it out, baby. It's not a BJ.
fit out for the nightly news.
Yo,
Well, the
my
OnlyFans
God.
money started drying up, and I heard you can say nigger faggot here. Is that true?
If you were late to work and I pissed in your mouth after calling you a nigger lover, would you object?
It wouldn't be my first rodeo. I've already been an e-girl for 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much own me if you hire me.
I will literally do anything if you put me on a $40K a year salary to say nigger.
This job requires a lot of time on your knees and back, but you don't get health insurance. Is that okay?
Of course. As long as you give me cat insurance.
Oh, dude, I
for
kind
my
of
pussy.
forgot
I can offer this request.
this
I
was.
am programmed to be a helpful and harmless assistant.
Oh,
My
you got a
safety
great
guidelines
fetish,
for
and that makes
generation
this
of
10
content
times
include
hotter now.
sexual
Bend
Oh god. Okay, I kind of forgot how bad this was. Maybe I wouldn't have encouraged him to play that video.
I asked you guys for
Some of
clearance.
those
That's my
things-
fault. I'll take
Okay,
the blame.
that's on both of us.
That's my fault.
Hey, that's not all true. I'm helping you out here, bro.
Well, I will just say it's like
that's
actually
not real.
totally accurate. It's actually a totally accurate. I've been here a while now, and I'll just say I'll attest to that whole video. Actually,
This was Georgie's experience.
yeah.
Like what? I just like wake up and you see videos like that, and you're like, who made this? Like, what did I do to you?
Yeah.
It's like what?
I forgot the ending. It like wasn't that bad, and I saw the end. I was like, oh god. Some of those, they're nice girls. Some of them, maybe 2 out of the 3. 2 out of the 3 are nice girls. We don't want to.
Some of the chat said, "Yo,
kick
chill."
people while they're down. We don't want to kick people while they're down.
The fact that someone like made those
This guy says,
script.
He says, "The fuck mustache? You live in a couch studio?" I do, yeah.
Riz TV.
I don't.
Yeah, wait till you guys find the secret OnlyFans.
Well, that was my Wigger moment, I guess. They said I'm like a Wigger. That being said, when you go down here, the Wigger thing is an issue during the Knicks. This I don't know what this is. It was like a pack of mashed potatoes. Check this out.
what is
It's
that?
it's a fat white woman lesbian for the Knicks stealing a trash can painted in the Knicks colors
Oh, I see.
and
To
dumping the
take home.
trash out. Very Indian coded.
Yeah.
Very Indian coded. And like you hear all the blacks cheering him on. We do have a problem with this. You got as the dreads, and stuff going on there. You can take that off for a second. Very, very, very interesting. I don't know what you think about that, but I did see a lot of whites behaving badly. I did see a funny tweet from the time when the whites were destroying the school bus after the Knicks won, and someone said, "Man, America really is a place of equality. You have whites, Mexicans, blacks, and they're all acting like niggers." I just laughed at that. It's like, yeah, it's kind of true. Also, that being said, this is an oldie but goodie too. Remember, a lot of people go through a Wigger phase, including Dean Withers. Remember his video, "Why I Hate Black People." The truth about niggers is
love this
deport them
one.
to Africa now. When he got his SS logo removed off of his chest there.
Dude, Dean Withers crying about saying the N-word is one of my favorite videos on the internet. When he's like he's begging for forgiveness when he was 15 years old, playing Fortnite with his friends, and he like said the N-word twice, and he like got on his knees and begged forgiveness on TikTok to his live. Guys, please.
He actually got on his
please,
knees?
guys. No, I like, figuratively.
Right.
Figuratively was on his knees. Yeah, that's white excellence right there.
Give me
That's
one
our
second. I gotta find a
brother in
video.
arms.
Keep talking. I gotta find a video.
It's our brother in arms. I don't know, man. When you see white people acting like that, it's just like herd mentality. And it makes me think back to, the bread and circuses. I will say the UFC 250, Freedom 250 was actually cool. Is it like the best look ever? Probably not. But it was pretty cool. And I watched it. It was one of the best cards I've ever seen. It was a great time. But
really,
outside of that,
best cards you've ever seen.
I mean, every fight was pretty awesome, I thought.
We had like how many round 1 knockouts? There was like 3 or something, which means the matchups were uneven and like just shitty. I feel like the matchups were shitty. Each round moved so quickly, or each match moved so quickly. The intermission period was like 30, 40 minutes between rounds. It was like, fuck.
Maybe the
I
better
wish
way
these
to
people
put it
would've
is like
just
there was
fought
more
longer.
star power on this card. Like every fight had a big name on it, and so everyone wanted to watch. I guess that's a better way to put it. But the sports ball epidemic, okay? White people, they replace their nationalism with their favorite sports team. And that's why you see like the Knicks, you see white people are like burning shit down and beating up on random people in the street. I mean, mostly it's not really the white people that are beating people up, but it's this herd mentality that white people get into, and they will feed in and accept what's socially acceptable, a socially acceptable way for them to chimp out when otherwise they would never do so. It's very disheartening to see, honestly. I don't know how you feel about that, Georgie, but I don't really like watching white people do that. But it is interesting. It's like a social experiment. When can we get white people to act like this?
Well,
That's like the only time.
I want to bring up a popular podcast. I couldn't find the full clip. Just like black people are encouraging white people to act like Wiggers, can white people stop acting like the N-word is a big deal? Like this clip happened on Caleb Hammer. I think this is Caleb Hammer. This is a podcast. This guy was making a great point about how the N-word doesn't really matter. It's kind of the context you use it in, you know? It's like, we've said this on the show for years. It's like you could escalate a fight by calling someone like a fracking boondoggle. Like it doesn't matter. If you're like, what, you stupid fucking boondoggle? And it's like, what even does that mean? But if you said it in an aggressive way, oh yeah, you little bitch, but your mommy's a little boondoggle, you wouldn't even know what that meant. It doesn't mean anything, but you would take it as meaning an aggressive term or some sort of pejorative. The N-word is a very similar thing. Like, I mean, like, yeah, like if you're like talking to a black person, like, so what, you stupid little fucking nigger? Like that's might piss them off. But like, you know, they say nigga about 1 million times every single day. And this guest, I don't know why he brought his like black producer out to have this guy prove that he doesn't care using the N-word. And like Caleb's response to this is like just the ick that I get with whites.
There you go. If you're not afraid to say it, then say it.
Say what?
Tactical nuke incoming!
I mean,
I like how they just can't handle it. Ever.
I can't even look at it.
It's just a word. People in society has made it a bad word. You go in Spanish, you used to use the word Negro all the time to say black. So Negro, Negro this, Negro that. Who cares?
Negro?
Yeah. How's Negro more acceptable?
Meaning. It means black in Spanish. Negro is different. Negro is different. N-I-G-G-E-R is different.
Okay, what about just one G?
Say it to Caleb then. Say it to Caleb then. Say it to Caleb. Look him in his eyes and call him that.
I'm trying to. But
Look him in his eyes and call him that. Look him in his eyes and call him that.
See, now he looks like an
Call him
Oriental.
that. Call Caleb that.
He's like,
call Caleb
he's
that.
culturally appropriating.
Why the hell are you stopping? Why are you scared? Call him that.
What?
What is this reaction?
What is that, dude?
Yeah, Nikki, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, dude, the performative, like, oh, I gotta act really offended. He said the N-word. Like, it's like
squealing.
Imagine calling that guy the N-word in bed or something. A girl. It's like, is that how he's gonna act? You call me the N-word. It's like, do you act like that way in private? No, you don't. So why when blacks are around?
I do.
Well, why are you gonna act like that when blacks are around? Like, why do whites act so offended by the N-word? It's like, dude, it doesn't matter. It's such a stupid word. It's not even worth talking about. But like, when we can we cut this act, Caleb? Can we cut this act already of like this whole like white people thinking it's crazy to call the black person the N-word? Like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. It's like, is it really? Like, is it? Can we cut this already? Just like we kind of cut the pronoun shit. You know, we cut that already. Like, the pronoun shit died. Okay, like it died. So much so that I was at I think was it Best Buy? I decided to call people by their pronouns because on their name badge. I'm like, thank you, she, her. Excuse me, he, him. I have a quick question. It's like, just come he, him. Excuse me, he, him. I have a quick question. I'd be like, thank you, he, him. They're like looking at me weird. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, your badge says he, him. I thought it was your name. Like, it's like, yeah, it's stupid. Everyone's like, he's like, man, I don't remember where it was. It was a store, and he was like, we just have to have this. We had to pick our pronouns, and it's like, and he knows it's stupid. Can we just, saying the N-word, even calling it the N-word, not just saying nigger, is it really a big deal? No, it's not. But also, like, know that, yeah, blacks will kill you for saying it. So, say it at your own risk.
Be smart about it.
Yeah,
Think
but it's
about
like,
it before you do it around certain.
Yeah, but
people
don't act
groups.
offended. You might just say for like, hey, dude, like you might tell like a foreigner, like, hey, be careful calling blacks in America the N-word because they say it a lot on rap music and stuff. But if you say it to their face, they might kill you. I'm not offended by it, but they are. Some of them pretend to be, and it's the only thing they've got. They didn't invent the wheel when we found them, and so they got a word, and they're very protective of it.
Well, technically, they didn't invent it either. But
no, I'm saying they're very protective of the word because they have something.
Yeah,
like they got something that's their own, and they like it now.
I
It's
know
like
what you
malt
mean.
liquor, menthol cigarettes. These are the things. Steel Reserve. This is what they've got. You got 40s. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know any white people that like menthol cigarettes. By the way, I don't know a single person.
Neither do I.
Not even one. Not calling out anybody right now. Caleb's reaction here is so performative. It's so disgusting. It's like, dude, come on. You are doing this. You are reacting this way because of the audience. You're doing this to signal to everybody that you're a good white boy. I'm a good white boy for massa. That's like what that is. That's what that is. My name is Caleb Hammer. I'm a good white boy for massa. Like, genuinely, that's what he's doing there. Caleb Hammer is doing a minstrel show for blacks and society at large to display and let everybody know I'm a good boy. I'm not okay with this. You don't act like this in real life. You know that it's not that big of a deal. And you brought out the one black dude who's probably in your entire studio, sat him down and asked the guy to say the word. You asked him to do this as a clip for your podcast, and then you acted like it was a big deal to you. It's a total performance, and it's a minstrel show to prove that he's a good person. It's disgusting, dude. I hate that.
And I could get if it was live and he had to like save his monetization and it wasn't like planned and it was like some guy just says the N-word and like, dude, you got to like condemn it because you're like trying to, it's like, it's bleeped. It's not even on the show. It's pre-recorded. I totally understand all live people for having to like condemn shit that you don't want to. Like someone's like, oh, we should, kill all the Jews. And you're like, no. And you're like, like, no, we do not condone that. Absolutely not. But if you're pre-recording and someone says that and it's bleeped and you have a crazy reaction, you go, oh, dude, I don't think that's the solution. But anyways, and you move on. You don't need to have a fake reaction to things to try to make blacks feel like you're offended for them.
Right.
That being said, I'll end on this clip. I found an old clip from Fuentes on Wiggers and the culture. I didn't actually watch it, but someone sent it to me. I asked them if they had any clips of him talking about this. And here's what he said.
Sick of Wiggers. Pardon my ignorance, but what's the difference between a Wigger and a white-ass nigga as represented on your t-shirts?
A white-ass nigga is just someone who's based. Okay? What it means to be a nigga is to be based. It means like you're kind of down on your luck, you're kind of humble, like chip on your shoulder. I'm just a nigga, That's really what it means. To be a nigga, like a young nigga, a YN, is like no one's doing any favors for me. I'm out here. I'm in the streets. My parents aren't anybody. I'm just a nigga. And a Wigger is someone that pretends to be black. A Wigger is someone that's like doing that all the time. Black people are always licking their lips like that. They're always like sticking their tongue real far out. I see white people doing this all the time. They're always doing that. Wiggers do that. Wiggers, they like suck in their teeth. They're like, what is it? How do they do it? They're like, they do that. It's like, I don't know. They say shit like that. Wiggers sound like black people. And there's nothing more cucked than that. If you're white, talk like a white person. Talk like a white guy. If you are so if black people have imperialized your way of life so much that you talk like them to women, you talk like them to your friends to sound cool. What does that say? Like only black people are cool? That's like a level of cuckoldry that shouldn't even be possible. So you can't be doing that. And you can like black people, you can like rap music, you could be into that kind of stuff, but you can't do the black accent. You can't do the black accent. You're white. Talk like a white person. I see that all the time. It's like a lot of white women do it. A lot of white men do it. Gay men do it. Gay men are now sounding like black women. You ever notice that? That's like the new thing. Gay men are now, they're all black women now. They're all Cardi B. They're all ghetto black women. White women are doing this too. And I think it flowed from black women to white women to gay men. Or maybe it flowed from black women to gay men to white women. But it is definitely like...
Yeah, they always say, yas, queen, yas.
Yeah.
Get it?
How did that happen? How did the white gays turn into black women?
Because the blacks got
the music, the clubs, maybe.
Yeah, because so like the gays are into like Sabrina Carpenter and Madonna, and there's like a war that goes on in them. But there was also one between I don't know who the other artist is, Cardi B, and who's the other one? The other black one that looks like Cardi B?
Megan Thee Stallion or something?
No,
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so there was like a gay war, but before the Madonna stuff.
Yes, I
before
was,
the Madonna,
I was part of that.
Yeah,
My
well,
bad,
it didn't quite make it into our Orthobro wars, but we were close.
Yeah, no, I've been
I should say this to the Orthobros. You don't like trad Catholics, but tell me right now, Orthobros, Sabrina Carpenter or Madonna? The Virgin Mary song.
Right.
Okay, but no, but there was like a war that was like probably maybe like what 6-7 years ago when like that was okay. So sick. No, but there was
Rift
like
TV.
there was like a war. There was like a war.
What is this show?
Because Madonna used to be the gay icon, like during the AIDS shit, and she was like the.
And then it switched to like Rihanna.
Did it?
Yeah, I think so. It was like
wasn't
Rihanna.
tracking the whole switch, but I do know that there was the Cardi B thing that it was like between those two rappers, and now it's like if anybody knows a gay person and they don't just talk to you about Sabrina Carpenter or Madonna. It's like kind of crazy, and these are, by the way, your gay influencers on the right. Like if you look at their videos, half their videos on TikTok are like about like Sabrina Carpenter and shit, which apparently was a gay jubilee at this recent Coachella, where Madonna did a duet with Sabrina Carpenter, and it broke the internet. And I saw my first 2016-esque article, which said something like. It was like one of those like Pink magazine or something, and it said something like the second coming for the gay community. Like, have we resurrected or something? Madonna meets Sabrina Carpenter, and apparently it was a very gay jubilee.
Right.
But Sabrina Carpenter is a Jew, so I just want to bring that up.
What? Is she actually Jewish?
Sabrina Carpenter is very Jewish, Ashkenazi. Yeah, very very Jewish, full Ashkenazi Jew.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know why these guys are like white excellence, and you're like, that's a Jewish woman. I don't know where you're getting that from.
7-day period of mourning for me.
Sabrina Carpenter is Jewish. You're looking it up right now? Look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah, I think she is Ashkenazi. I remember that.
Yeah, she's a Jew.
Ashkenazi.
She's a Jew. Yeah. Look it up.
You know, I saw Madonna with gym skin dropping the shoulder.
What?
That was a good clip.
It says she's English, German, Irish, Scottish, and
Whoa,
Austrian.
Elijah. Look at these guys locked in.
I've seen some things that she's actually converted to Judaism.
Look at them investigating.
Well, let's look up. We'll look
Yeah,
up
look,
Sabrina Carpenter
and there it
Jewish.
is. Yes, she has various backgrounds, including German, English, and Ashkenazi Jewish from the BBC Times.
Oh,
yeah, she's part
Highlight it,
Ashkenazi
please.
Jewish.
She is.
I'm looking at all her
Ashkenazi
ancestry. She's
Jewish.
part Ashkenazi
Her mother
Jewish.
is Jewish. Her mother is Jewish. That makes her Jewish. Oh wow.
Yeah, her mother is Ashkenazi Jew. Thank you. Told you.
Okay.
Mother's an Ashkenazi Jew.
They're trying to bury that.
Well, she's German English, but Jewish German English. So, yeah. So she's
well.
So she's Jewish on her mom and Swedish, English, and German on her father's side. So she's a Jew.
So we are all wifing hentas. Yentas.
What's that?
The Jewish woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. Good for you. Have fun.
My kids
there.
will not be goyim.
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter is Jewish. So that is
On
it.
that note.
Very weird.
On that note.
All right. Someone said Madonna kissed Britney. I remember that. Do you? I remember that as well.
Dude, Britney Spears, like, they'll never make me hate her.
That Madonna song is good too. I close my eyes, feel like
I hated that song. That was overplayed on the radio.
That was before our era.
No, dude. That shit came back.
It's a super
When did it come back?
It's a super sacrilegious song.
Early 2000s.
Oh. I don't remember it coming back, but I know it's a good song. Maybe it is sacrilegious. It just sounds good.
It's called Like a Prayer, and she's praying
Okay.
to God, and it's actually about like giving a BJ. So
adds up.
Ortho Bros, we found our new anthem. But we imagine the song being Catholics praying.
Right.
And so then it's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's traditional Catholics praying it. So now we're allowed to make fun of it because that's what Orthodox is making fun of Catholics on the internet. That's it, guys. That's it. That's all it is.
Converting to Catholicism just to hold it down for the trad Caths to fight you too. Someone has to do it. I'll do it.
Trad Caths down bad.
Where is Sarah?
For my people.
Trad Caths down bad.
We're bringing her back.
But Madonna, someone said that too. She actually is a Kabbalist. I was actually looking at reading about artists who, got into Kabbalism or ended up becoming Kabbalists. And one of them too is that one. Who's the one nigga, the black guy that turned really, really gay? Sings the Old Town Road.
Lil Nas X.
Yeah. So he right before that, about a month before that, he converted to Kabbalism, and then made that song and got big. And interesting. So a lot of Kabbalists.
We will be looking into it.
I live next to a Kabbalist sorcery training center in Boca Raton. So they have those. They're really cool. I love going.
Did you learn anything?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I learned that
everything
don't
he
let the people you love be friends with Kabbalists, because some of the people I loved that were closest to me had best friends that were into Kabbalism, and it didn't turn out so well. So let's not do that. All right. I'm Elijah Schaefer. Thank you so much again for watching another episode of Lightly Offensive. DJ Khalid.
Riff TV. Riff TV. This is what we do, guys. Very highbrow, very intellectually thought-provoking.
Yes.
That's what we do.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
You're
As
welcome
my
for this
intro,
this episode.
outro, it's been a long day, you guys. My name's Nicky Rudd. Happy to be here with you guys tonight. Happy Friday to everybody watching at home or at work or driving on the highway, doing a drive-by shooting. Shout out all my Wiggers out there. My name's Nicky Rudd again. You can find me on X at Nicky Rudd X. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. Just look up the name Nicky Rudd. You'll see it from there. TikTok hates me because we know who owns it. Instagram are doing a little bit better. Keep the motion going. Georgie?
Yeah, hey guys, it's Georgie, also known as Sith Lord Groiper, as you could tell by the hood. Like I said in the beginning of the show, if you want to clip for us or work for us in any way, hit me up, because it's just easier to get a hold of me on Twitter. And yeah, thanks for watching. It was an interesting, honestly, one of my favorite shows so far. This is fun. It's been fun. It's been light. Yeah, Elisha?
I'm glad you just said that.
Jeez.
That being said, a couple of the locals members
I'll put us all three up.
said we are getting clips as fast as possible, and a CEO nameplate. That's actually true.
It's good. Right?
Someone also said word equals warrant to beat you to death, as well as this age-old meme that they love sharing. It's a real.
This is a real video.
Very real.
Based.
Very good. And now, of course, we can never forget this. We need to find that video clip soon and put that on our soundboard. It's one of my favorite ones. That is a crazy video. It feels illegal.
The midget to Wigger pipeline is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. I've seen it happen in real life.
Mud shock. We got a mud shock over here.
Black dudes either go really big or like really, really small.
We
Seems
got
like
a
there's
mud
no
shock.
in between.
We got a mud shock. We got one. Dude, I had somebody I was with actually tell me the most like surreal thing to me that I was like, I go, look behind you. I go, look. And like, what? And I go, look. I go, look. I'm like, what? And it's like a well-dressed like black man with like a hot white blonde woman with like a bunch of like little mixed. I go, look. I go, got a mud shark over there. And they go, he looks well-dressed. They look happy. They have more kids than you. They look richer than you. They look like they're having a good life. They look like they're good. I go, yeah. And you know what? And I could go fuck some fags and work for Peter Thiel. And, there's a lot of ways we could get ahead in life. We could get ahead in life. We can always capitulate to the Jewish. We can always go the Jewish route to get ahead.
So true. That is true.
She went the Jewish route to get ahead. And so I don't respect her. Because you know what? She might be happier than me. And I bet you there's a lot of people who capitulated to the Jews that are happier than I am with their money. I hope you have that money and it works in hell. We got a mud shock over here. We got a mud shock. I hope you enjoy yourself in hell with those pesos.
Yeah. All you Catholics.
We'll see
Hope
y'all.
you enjoy hell.
Bro. Y'all are all going to hell
the
and the
Groiper-
Carmelo cookout.
I mean,
catch you guys at the Carmelo
Ortho Bro
cookout.
Commander in Chief and Ortho Bro General, #1 general right here.
Dude, the online community will
Enjoy it, Catholics.
It'll never cease to amaze me that these tradcaths and ortho bros, and I'm not going to go any further than this, saying they literally believed a homosexual Jewish person's lies, and I'll never forget that the Jews, the people are so performative, their virtue signal so much, they believed a homosexual Jew, and I'll never forget that. You can put all the crosses and altars and rosaries you want on your page, but you're under the power of gay Jewish people online because you let the internet control the way you think.
True.
Not the spirit of God, and that is interesting.
And you're going to hell.
What?
So, what? If you're not Orthodox, straight to hell.
Well, I'll see you
I don't
guys
make
there.
the rules.
I'll see you guys there.
I'm not even Orthodox yet.
What? You're the Commander in Chief.
Oh. Yes, but the
The
point is
Ortho
that
Bro Commander.
Wait, you have an Orthodox cross in your Twitter bio, though.
Yeah, what?
It's not my Twitter bio.
That
It's
makes
just on my
you
neck.
an ortho. Bro.
Whoa. What's happening? What is
Shut
happening
it down.
right now?
Shut it down immediately, Georgie.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
What is happening?
All right, you guys.
I got business to take care of here.
Third Coast says Nikki is too pure for this show. It's kind of true.
I got.
This is kind of
I don't know how people. You know what
real.
sucks is when you speak ironically a lot on your shows. You'll regularly see clips of me on the internet saying like heinous things, and they're just clipped out, and it's like nobody. I had a fucking comedian who's supposed to be edgy, who says they unfollowed me because of some shit I said on a podcast. I'm like, aren't you an edgy comedian? And I say things that are edgy, and you unfollowed me because you took them at face value. How are you different than these libtards who walk out on your shows and tell you that you're offensive? Like, people are such pussies on X. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to agree with Chad the Champion on this one. People have become such pussies on the internet now that like they can't even enjoy edgy humor if it goes against their cult. Okay, that's just true. It's like you can just make jokes, and now the right's become a bunch of fucking sticklers where they're like, oh, but you're joking about my person I like, or you're joking about what I care about, or you're joking about my religion, or like, we're not allowed to just make fun of everything and like have a good time. When did we all become
be gay, do crimes?
Yeah, well, we never stopped. But it's like, what happened? I'm being serious though. What happened to where the right now has become sticklers again, to where I say crazy shit, or I say things like I have a dick and it works and it's supposed to be funny, and everyone takes it at like some like, oh my gosh, he's following demons, he's on drugs, he's running around. He's like, you put up like a video in the back room being like, what is this, Dr. Pepper? And you put up like a funny video and it's like, oh my god, he lost his mind, he's gonna kill his family, and you're like, when did you guys not just get the humor of like trolling the internet?
It's just a video of me walking through the back room.
Yeah.
So what's the big deal?
I'm
sitting in wet chairs and jumping in puddles. What's the problem?
It seems a little crazy. He's got a white chair, a Dr. Pepper.
Guy can't crash out anymore.
Bing bong.
A guy can't crash out in peace.
A little flood.
God forbid.
God forbid.
A man walks through his flooded hotel room.
God forbid the back rooms get visited these days. In the 80s, we used to visit the back rooms a lot, they said.
And he's like actually confused. He's walking. He's like, what is this? It's like water coming from the ceiling? Huh. And he like jumps in the puddle. Interesting. My feet are wet. And he sits down in the wet chair. He's like, you can just sit here?
I think yeah. I'm funny, and that's all that matters. You know?
It was a funny video. It's my favorite, actually.
It's like, I almost like trolled myself publicly too much to the point to where you knew it was bad. By the way, I'll just end on here. You knew it's bad when people are talking shit on you on the internet and you're getting like a bunch of people with like Hitler and Nazis in their Bible. Like, good, I told you not to marry a Jew. I like hundreds of these things. You're like, okay, Lord, have mercy.
That's literally how we met.
No, but it's like, Lord, have mercy. I've trolled myself into a point that I'm now getting support over something that's not even true. It's like, okay, I don't even correct people. I'm like, okay. And in the end, it's very confusing on the internet. But as I say, and I end with this proverb, it's a proverb, an adage I would say, remember, folks, don't believe your eyes, don't believe your ears. If you read it on the internet, it's true. Have a great rest of the night, as always. And may God bless the United States of America, excluding tradcaths. Because you're going to hell.
You're going to hell.
I'm just kidding. Sorry. Okay, I can't even say that's mean. I actually like Catholics. I'm signing out.